Bam.
Can you hear me?
There we are. Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, it was quiet for a second, so I didn't know.
Oh, Jeremiah, I've been waiting, and I sent you a link, Jeremiah, to your messenger. If you want to jump on, you better go brush your hair. I can't remember to find the link. I mean, thank everyone that chipped in. What is Jeremiah talking about? Cody, what is Jeremiah talking about? He lives
I
in
don't know. I can
Colorado.
barely read
You got
it.
any guesses? You
It's a
don't need to
line
read it.
thing.
I'll read it to you
Well, how do I know that's what you're going to say? For real.
because he's from Colorado, and that's all we're going to talk about. Plus trash, and you should be good at that with your dogs.
Yeah.
Trump
I'm actually
2024.
the expert.
Anyone know how Colorado turned out? Yes, I do. 127 did not pass. Good thing for everybody. I'm trying to get, Naomi's going to get on at 5:45, and then she's going to she only has about 15 minutes to talk. And then I asked Robert to get on. Jared's coming sometime. There's Jeremy. We needed someone to translate for Jeremy, Cody Lynn. Cody Lynn needs glasses probably, so she's squinting.
I have my glasses somewhere right here, actually.
You really? Yeah, put them on.
I almost asked what was that, Chris, but I understand what that is. That's Cody Lynn.
Yep, in the flesh.
without a top knot.
Yeah.
Premature balding. Gotta let it down sometimes.
Her hair.
Keep living.
I told her, you know what? I told her, I said, hey, when you come on the show, just pull that bun out and let it fall. But she said, no, it'll just stay right there. It won't fall.
Permanently.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So if nobody knows, this really is Cody Lynn over there.
Yep. This is me.
For reals. It's
Born
not
a
AI.
man. Yeah.
Born a man with breasts. Brushed her hair. I don't know if she brushed her teeth. I
didn't brush my hair. I just
let
washed
it down.
Well, no, I just washed it.
Man, third week of the month. I didn't know it was that far along. Congrats on the win in Colorado. Good day for Houndsmen. It's a good day for everybody. Good day for everybody. All hunters, because it's not just Houndsmen that were hunting them there. It was everybody, you know.
Help sets a precedent for elsewhere too. So.
Well, it does, and it shows them antis that when you think you can sneak in and do it, it ain't gonna happen. How's it going, y'all? Just got a male pup. I have him being trained in Utah. I talked to old Harris. Uh-oh, Cody Lynn. You ready?
Hey. Get it. She off. Look at that girl.
What girl? No. It's a boy still.
Nah,
it's a boy
with She showed me a picture Sunday morning, and I said, "Oh, you need to get online like that."
Yes, he paid for it.
Who did?
He paid for the picture.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Bought her breakfast.
Yep.
Bought her breakfast. We had to go eat a meal so that I wouldn't talk about welding around Chris because he gets all psycho.
Did we even talk about welding?
No.
No, I assured you we wouldn't.
I don't think so.
This is going to be a welding show tonight. We got.
I know. All kinds of welders. We'll see if Dandy jumps on and gets all crazy.
Get it in a minute. There we go.
Just need to keep that guy out of the alcohol, and he might be all right.
Well, he only had 2 or 3 or 6 last week or Monday, so he was calm.
Yeah, he wasn't
once
bad.
he sees Cody Lynn on here, gonna be a drinking. Yep. What do you think, Benny? Good day for Colorado, right?
Oh man, this morning I woke up about 2:45, and I got up. I was very cautious, and I thought, I don't know if I want to look at this crap. Kind of had the same attitude that I had when he ran against Hillary. And I looked and I was in disbelief and I looked some more. I looked around some other places and I finally went in at a couple minutes after 3 and woke my first wife up and said, "Hey, Trump made it." Really? Perfect. Okay, I went back to bed.
I was a little slower than that. It took me 2 cups of coffee to realize he'd won.
I stayed up all night to make sure he did.
Oh,
Good
so
for
you're
You know,
the
I
one.
got Texas at night.
Well, you need to get back after it so that Carrie Lake can come out.
Have they
I
not
thought
finished in Arizona yet?
They have not finished, only 61%.
What takes
Hey,
them
they
so
need to
long?
borrow some fingers and toes.
Oh, they're stupid. They're just, I'm not over there to help them.
my
I
my
will be.
twin boys, same thing when they woke up. We're like, who won? Who won? So, yep. First thing you need to do is open that pipeline back up right
Well, that
now.
whole deal's, that's a big stupid lie, Chris. You know,
What?
nobody starts a pipeline, and especially one of that magnitude, without having all their permits in place, without having all their ducks in a row, without having everything there, and how somebody
Yeah,
thinks they can just shut it down. So there's more to it than that. There's a lot of payola. So my stepdad's a union welder, and he's the hardcore vote for the party, not the person. And so we get into this discussion, and he starts it because I don't start it because I usually ream him out pretty good. And he said, "So,
yeah,
what about this and what about that?" And I said, "Well, let me tell you what, Jay. Your your buddy, Mr. Joe Biden, he canceled all those union welding jobs on that pipeline." I said, "And that pipeline didn't have anything to do with the United States." I said, "That's Canadian oil going to the Gulf Coast to put it on a barge." I said, all of the United States was going to get out of that deal was just the permitting, really just transportation stuff. I said, but
yeah,
all your little vatos, your little hood boys, all union hands, every one of them got killed by Joe Biden, your hero. So why don't you just smoke on that for a while and tell me how it feels? And he didn't say a word. I said, and then I pointed out the whole deal. Nobody starts a project like that without having all of the right of ways, without having all the permits. So there's no way they could just shut the pipeline down, the construction. Somebody got paid, and I'll bet the union
oh,
boss was even on it.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
There's always
anyway,
somebody's hand in the pot.
well, and that's what this world's come to more and more. It's just look like the taxes that we pay. And everybody, I hear we talking about our democracy all the time. This nation has never been a democracy, and I don't know why people can't get over that.
Republic,
It's a
republic.
constitutional republic because they've thrown the Constitution out. Doesn't mean that we're still not supposed to be that. And it started on had to do all about taxes. There was no taxes, and there was especially no property tax. And you didn't have to pay a tax to go kill a deer. You didn't have to pay a tax to go drive your car down the street. You didn't have to pay a tax for a damn thing. And anytime they can give out $2,400 a month, oh, that's going to change fast. You watch. All these illegals, they're free money and that telephone. The first thing Trump did when he got in office the last time is kill everybody's Obama phone, the free phones. So now there's going to be a whole bunch of illegals, millions and millions of illegals that aren't going to be able to habla español and Chinese and everything else to the homeland. I think it's going to be hilarious. All we got to do, party's not over, guys. All we got to do is get him in office. He needs to he needs to get in the bunker and he needs to go underground and he needs to not pop his head out until it's time to get sworn in because they're after him. you can bet old killer Kamala, she's a little bit bent. She's been on top of the desk all these years. She doesn't want to have to go back under the desk to work.
Back to the old job. Back to the old.
I guarantee.
Hey, you got one of them
And there we
sensory
have it.
deals you can stick on Benny?
Beep, 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 beep.
There was no
You're speaking the
swearing in
truth.
there.
No,
Absolutely no curse words.
You're speaking the
The
truth.
only thing I was sad about is that 134 didn't pass in Arizona.
No.
But yeah, no. But me and Jared talking about it too, and it wasn't really advertised. I didn't find out to the end. What's his name? Hey, when I forget a name, he sent me a text and said, "Hey, check this out." That was only a month ago, so we started kind of putting it out there, but not a lot of people knew what it was and what it was for, and it was a safety. So anybody coming in can't just go to one district and say we got 1 million signatures. Even if they got 1 million signatures in Phoenix, they wouldn't be able to get a ballot initiative. They would have had to get all the districts involved and get all the vote or all the signatures. And I don't understand why people. I don't remember who I was talking to, but we got into the republic and democracy. And I said, that's how the republic works. Everybody's involved in it, not just one city. How many lions are a problem in Phoenix? I know we're lion problems in Phoenix. Jeremiah.
Did you see that thing I tagged you in, Dad?
Howdy.
Which one?
The mountain lion at Shallow Lake.
Oh yeah. In our town right now, there's been a ton of lion sightings recently. Kind of crazy. A lot of them. Just this week I seen 3 or 4. In the town. That's just in the town. Right by Shallow Lake. Shallow Lake. That's way to the east a little bit. So it's not like it's on the res right there. The res is kind of close to the south, but them lions, there's just a lot of lions. And I tell you what, man, get on that mountain lion sightings page. Them guys just don't make sense at all.
I like going on there and poking at them. See that? Me and Cody were sending signals. That's welder talk for look close.
Yeah.
So what are you guys going to do?
Happy here in Colorado.
Yeah, it need to be. What's going to happen though if Joe Biden, if all of his handlers get him to sign the order for it'll slow everything down and it could make everything blow smooth up because they're not, I don't think they're counting who's got the bullets and who doesn't, but he could sign a what do you call it?
The executive order.
Yeah, but the order where declare where the military takes over.
Martial law.
Martial law. See, there's been hints and rumors about that if everything didn't go right. But however, I think martial law would be the catalyst that set this whole deal on its head.
Well, I think you've got to have mass chaos in the streets, uncontrollability, in order to file martial law.
Go to Oregon.
On it.
Go to Oregon.
I don't even think they filed martial law in Oregon, did they?
No, they didn't. They just moved out and let them have it.
They let them have the town. But those were leftists, not rightists.
Well, sure. It's just like Coy Griffin, Cowboys for Trump. He was an organizer, and he had such a huge organization and a following that they shut him down, and everything they did to Coy was illegal, unconstitutional. They can't say that he can't hold a county government office, but they did. And all it was over Cowboys for Trump. And they rode their horses and they marched down there, and a bunch of those guys were there January 6th. But it wasn't the Trump supporters that blew all that stuff up. If anybody could watch the TV and watch the news, Capitol Police said they didn't need any help and they didn't want any help, and the Capitol Police moved all the barricades and let the people in. There was somebody inside the building that opened the doors.
Oh yeah.
And that one psycho guy with the helmet, the Viking helmet with the horns on it, I think he was from Phoenix. But
Well,
just because he's from Phoenix doesn't mean
well,
anything that for his political affiliates.
wasn't that guy kind of a genius? Isn't that guy a real smart
Well,
guy? I read
not
something
that
on it.
smart. He just
He
sure
got
didn't go
caught.
incognito.
Yeah.
No, they had him all over the place. Is he still in jail?
Oh, I would imagine.
He's
I don't
probably
know.
on the Epstein
I'll have to
list
look
by
it
now.
The West Coast, the West Coast article over there. You haven't been to
No,
California
don't do
lately?
that. I'm gonna be in Mexico at Thanksgiving. I don't need all that crap.
Let me see. Up here in Recasiscuya County, whatever that is, in California, we have great hunting, but I'm the only houndsman here that I can find. Getting a few people interested in learning how to train dogs.
I would not do that. I would do what I was gonna do, and I would stay under a rock, and I would just I would
Don't
have so
draw
much
attention to
fun.
yourself.
I'll guarantee it. I've already been
Yeah.
on all sides of that coin.
Now you see this right here? The light that shines the brightest is the one that gets the attention.
Yep.
Where all the bugs are at.
Yep. It's a fact. Jeremiah, you got to be happy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, everybody's pretty happy. Chomping at the bit now. Can you see that white window in the background? We got to wait
Yeah, I
about
see that.
24 more days, but we got snow on the ground.
That's cheater dust,
Yeah,
Benny.
I know.
I
I'm
got
not
some
Hey,
ready to
cheater.
see
I
it.
got some cheater dust too.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, yeah.
Lying in
I
the
don't
tree
know.
is a lying in the tree.
I'm going to miss that lonely desert country. It gets crowded up here. Might just go hunt in the
Well,
mud.
when it snows in Arizona, you see all them lion hunters coming up that freeway out of Phoenix.
Boy,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some happy New Mexico boys. They killed cats yesterday in Red River and a couple other spots over by Taos.
Yep.
I can guarantee
Yeah,
you
I
who
seen
was
some
not
Arizona
amongst
guys.
them. I was not there.
It's that ugly wet snow, anyways. It's no fun
Oh,
to mess
nice and
around
wet.
in that.
Nope, slush.
We got some of
It's
that
Oh,
today and Friday and Saturday. No, Thursday and Friday and today. But it's 95 degrees, so it didn't stick. Turned to
yeah,
water.
it's not sticking here either, is it, Cody?
Nope. It's a muddy mess outside.
Muddy
Well, it
mess.
looks like Louisiana again here. So.
Oh, it's dirty. And we got a lot of clay up here, so you can get stuck in an inch of mud. So,
Yeah, and when it gets real wet, you can disappear in that inch.
you know,
Just have your antenna
But-
sticking out the top.
So they can find
it is easier. It is easier not to crash race in snow, though. You can at least see what they're crashing on. Vote. Let me see. They
I'll let
can't.
the
If they can
puppy
count
beat
the
up.
state for Kamala with 0% of votes counted. Which one was that? I'm surprised it's went as smooth as it has, to be honest. But
Did
I don't
she
think
ever
the Democrats even want to
Yes,
cheat to keep
she
Kamala. I don't think she has yet.
Yeah,
I
she
saw
has.
it a while ago she has.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
has
called
she?
them.
So this morning at 2:45, I'm watching TV and I'm flipping through all the news channels to get everybody's perspective. And on CBS, there's this gal that's got little kind of shortish blonde hair. And I don't know if staying up all night is what made her look that way, but it looked to me like her eyes were swelled up and red. And she'd been crying her eyes out like, oh no, now
I
what?
guess
The train's
I,
rolling, the train's rolling.
the red waves come. I guess on Reddit, I'm not on Reddit, but someone told me on Reddit all the liberals were like blowing it up.
Yeah, I thought it was on TikTok too.
Wait,
They're
is
just
it?
sitting there crying. Yeah,
Oh goodness.
it's funny.
Yep.
Hey, there's any Mexicans watching that know this business. You put this little finger in the air and you spin around, you say, toma.
Yep. That I'm kind of sad because I told my wife, I said, if Kamala wins, I'm gonna get on welfare. Just stay on. I'm gonna stay on for 4 years.
Look at
Jared,
Jared's got his Mexican looking sweater on.
Oh
he
yeah,
thought Kamala won.
I was getting ready to head south.
He has 4 of those. So when he voted, he just switched them and went and voted again. Jared, you getting rain down there?
No,
Damn.
the border might be down on the border might be getting a little shot right now. It's pretty blue skies over there, but we're not getting any rain.
Yeah. What do you
I'm
think,
down
Jared?
here hanging out with these guys.
Did you? Oh, some old Walker pups.
Oh no, there's a blue one in there.
Oh, I kicked. Oh, as long as it ain't a black and tan.
No, these are blue tick Walker crosses out of
Jared Nichols and
Jared Nichols and Sam Derringer.
yep.
The
California, a win for her. Oh, that's what he's talking about.
Littermate's sister to the dog that I had that died. She had these puppies this year, so I went up and grabbed 3.
So what he's basically saying, Chris, is he's rich or was.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got them for free. I didn't pay for them. Anything free is we're saving up for.
Yeah. Hey, those
I
are the
can't
ones that always
believe
cost me money.
Right?
Cody Lynch is sitting there real quiet, taking all this PS in.
Mhm.
Cody, I didn't
Yeah.
mean for you to get on here and fling your hair down like that and have to put up with all this crap.
She's just
No,
she's just here to look pretty.
here to bring in the views, breaking the views.
Bring in the views.
Well, usually that's where Brett Vaughn is, and it's a sight better right
Oh.
now. So thank you.
At least we don't have
I
to see
sent him
his
a
little
link.
bird legs when he gets up every 5 minutes.
I'm sure he won't be here because I need to ask him some questions.
Jeremiah, how's your pups doing?
They're
Hazel's
real
Hounds wants to
healthy.
know.
It was getting kind of hard to get rid of dogs there for a minute. I think they'll show up and pick them up now.
I think it's hard to do a lot of things. I think everybody waits on this election. Even work.
That's a nightmare.
And
Oh man, this morning I had 2 guys hit me up for a lion hunt. Right, before I had everyone just ho hum about it.
Huh. Well, they know they're going to be making some money.
That no tax on overtime, man.
You think that's a good? You think that's going to be a solid deal?
I hope so. And then
There
I'm
shouldn't
also
be no
going to be
tax
working
on
for
overtime.
tips. And then I'm going to be working for tips.
Yep. Well, just charge them for 40 hours, right?
Yep.
Charge them by the hour. Charge them for 40 hours, and then the rest of your time for your business, for your lion hunting.
Yeah. Yep. Lion hunting for tip. Just their mandatory tips is all.
Yep.
I was in
Have you
court
been on?
one time. I was going to say I was in court one time, and part of my fine was I had to make a donation to Chaves County Crime Stoppers, and I said, "Well, I choose not to make a donation." So You don't want the deal? I said, no, I want the deal. I'm just not going to make a donation. And they said, well, that's required. And I said, so it's not a donation. Call it a tax. Call it a levy. And they said, well, what do you mean? I said, a donation is out of the kindness of my heart. I said, and I don't feel that my heart's that kind right now. You drug me into court for this bogus crap. You want to give it to me free just as long as I keep paying the money. It's not a donation. Call it what it is. Call it a damn tax.
Yep.
Or a fine.
And the judge was listening to all this. And whenever I got up there, the judge says, so Mr. Griffin, you're charged with this and this and this. And I see that you've agreed to these payments and this. And I looked at it. He says, is that true? And I said, Your Honor, I suppose it is, with great reservation. And he got the biggest grin. He said, Mr. Griffin, I understand. Believe me, I understand. So I felt good about having to give a donation, a mandatory donation out of the kindness of my black heart. So there you go, Jared. You'll just have to give them some of those mandatories.
That's
Mandatory.
right. Mandatory donations.
Well, Jared, what about that trash breaking? We have Naomi coming on here in about 15 minutes. She's supposed to. We'll let her give us an update about all that's going on. I think she has a meeting tonight, even with the Utah Houndsmen people, UHC.
You know what this Colorado did, just like you guys were talking about? It was setting the stage to make the rest of their attacks real easy, or they're going to run up against trouble. And so since they didn't get it passed in a liberal state like Colorado, then that means that they could run into a little bit of trouble in other states.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, they're going to run into trouble in Arizona. They're going to run into trouble because what they did too is they did set the standards. And so now we know what we're up against. And now they know what they're up against. So now we just have to hit these people even harder. And now that everybody knows in Arizona what's going to happen, it's not going to be that hard. You know, it's not going to be that hard at all.
No.
It's always a test of water. Every time they do something, Tree Dog, it's a test of water. They've done it in Arizona a couple times.
Yeah. And also in Arizona, like Pima County, Tucson is super liberal and blue, you know. It's also 48% Hispanics. But those Hispanics hate mountain lions. They do. They love deer hunting. Doesn't matter if they vote for Kamala or whatever. Like I work with concrete guys. They weren't mad that Trump got elected, but they weren't really happy about it either. They just ho-hummed about it. But you talked
I'm gonna
about
have
mountain
to jump
lion with
off
those
and
guys.
put these puppies up. I'll hop back on
All right.
later.
Sounds good.
You put a mountain lion in front of those guys, and they want to shoot everyone they see.
Yeah.
I mean, so when it comes to lion hunting in Arizona, even though that we're purple-ish, you know, that still wouldn't matter.
Well, we were
What
a
you
little
got-
more red this round
Yeah.
than we were last round. That's for sure.
Y'all were blue the first time I looked at you.
Well, we
Well,
got it
even the
fixed now.
natives. There's a lot of natives that went red. That reservation behind the scenes went red. There's a lot of them, more than what they usually go.
They even fired Jonathan Nez. I've never heard of such a thing on the Navajos fired Jonathan. Hey, what? And he was running for office. You hear anything on that?
No, not yet.
I never.
Not yet.
What was that guy's name? I can't think of it right now. He was a president of the Navajo Nation, and the federal government put him in prison for stealing funds from the Navajos, and when he got out of prison, the Navajos elected him back in to be the president again. And I thought, well, that's just crazy, but people do that stuff all the time. But they actually got rid of Jonathan Nez, and I think it was over COVID. So
Well,
there's a little bit of hope. People are getting their fill of all this, and when you can't go to the grocery store for less than $200, it's getting pretty serious.
yep. Well, look at what's that? Wayne Purcelli. I googled his net worth. $4 million.
Yeah.
4
Well,
million.
they take in all this money, and then there's only like 1%, 1.5% of that HACES that goes to actual doing anything to the animal shelters. So it's a farce. It's just it's a bullshit scam is what it is. And these people need to realize it.
Yep. Well, that one gal on that Mountain Lion sighting page, she came out today and was just kind of naming everything off like we can't blame the mountain lions for all the problems and everything, and this is a bad deal. And she started naming off there's 8 million people or 8 billion people on the earth, and mountain lions only account for not even 1%, blah blah blah. And she's all, hunting's a privilege. And I was like, bam. And I called her out on it. I'm like, you a day ago said subsistence hunting was fine. Now you're against all hunting today.
Yeah.
She never replied back.
That's because she got her feelings hurt.
Yep.
Panties are in a wad, and my feelings are hurt.
Yep.
Well,
I hate it when my panties
get
get just when my panties get in a wad hurts my feelings.
But
just don't wear any, Benny.
We did
No,
turn a girl.
I can't stand all the hair getting stuck.
Ugh.
We did turn a girl from voting yes to no.
Yeah.
On that page, and she was from Colorado, and she had.
I seen that.
She wrote a thing on it on why she was misinformed. She was misinformed and was going to vote yes on Prop 127. And then on the page, she started reading and looking into stuff on that Mountain Lion sightings page, and she turned her vote to no.
I seen that.
So maybe she told other people.
Maybe.
Well, it worked. We got another year out of it.
It was closer than I liked. I would have rather it been a bigger spread.
Yeah.
But what was it in the end? 5 or
55 to 44 or something like that.
Yeah.
10,000 votes.
250,000 votes or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm just happy it went the way it did, and I think those guys need to just keep taking money in, and
they do. Now we got to listen to Dan Gates when he talks about just doing the whole country and having a giant organization.
Well,
I think you're setting yourself up for somebody to get greedy and scam the money.
Well, hopefully it's not him.
It depends on who's running it. And on nonprofits, they have to report it all. But
yeah, but that's the case all the time,
it says,
Rich.
Nonprofit is nonprofit. So let's say you take in $2 million, you can't have a profit. So that's when all the bonuses go out. But
and to save hunting in America, I would have no problem if Dan Gates drove around the U.S. and educated everyone and made $200,000, $250,000 a year.
Yeah, as long as he stayed busy and as long as he kept us informed about the legislature, the stuff we don't know about.
Show his work.
Yeah. Turn that into a job for him. 60, 40-hour work week job where he's got to jump on planes and talk to students and universities and whatever.
Well, the dinners aren't cheap. It's why it's called lobbying. You're going to have $600 dinners. You're not going to go to Taco Bell. So these guys that say, "Oh, he's going," I've already heard it. "Oh, he goes to dinner. He buys hotels." What do you want him to do? Sleep in his truck? He's giving up his family time. I've worked out of town. It's no fun.
Yep.
So.
Well, those same people that think that He shouldn't be doing any of that and shouldn't be getting any compensation for that. They're not willing to go out and do it for free themselves.
No,
Absolutely not.
They're the very ones that would take the money and run.
Yeah.
Gabe, own business, doing wildlife content. Yeah. Yeah, Dan does have other things to do in life. Who cares how busy? I would only care about actual results. If he kept getting results, I would be in. Everybody'd be in. You know, that's why I think that's why they're trying to start that National Houndsmen Alliance, which is great.
Yep.
But they're going to have to really be careful how they run this.
Well, look how successful Howl for Wildlife is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that guy does it out of his house.
Yep. So there's plenty of organizations that can get together, and that's what needs to happen. That's what we barely got together on this one, in my opinion. I think now we say, hey, it's all together. We know what we can do. So now we really got to get together. And all these people, anybody whining about it needs to, like, oh, the money, where's the money going? It's going. Obviously, it went somewhere. I seen all the stuff they were doing. You know, you got to pay attention. You can't just get on TikTok and read one post and say, oh, this is what he's doing. You know, you got to pay attention to it. And as the National Houndsman Alliance, if they get that all together, I hope everybody gets on a newsletter and every month something goes out and says, this is what we're doing for the month. You know, they need to get hold of every organization in every town.
Rocky, come here. Come here.
And when, you know, we already talked about there's something going on in Arizona. They're going to try to come after Arizona or New Mexico, but I don't think these people realize what's actually going on in Arizona behind the scenes as far as how much money we actually have. They don't know that, and we're not going to let them know that until they're here. You know, I think they're going to have another. They're going to be surprised. You know, if you can't take Colorado, which is California too, when it comes to Denver and the liberal stuff, you're going to have a hard time in Arizona and New Mexico and Nevada.
I looked at New Mexico, and New Mexico is only blue by like 60,000 votes.
Well, that
was just for the president, but New Mexico's blue clear through the core. It was only about Trump.
Well, look at California. That red kind of came through California. There's a nice strip through there now, and I think they're going to get over that. I think that sooner or later, if they get rid of that shitty ass governor and get somebody in there that's worth the crap, Democrat or not, I think it'll be better.
Yep.
But people don't, when they vote, they just go down and Democrat, blue no matter who. That's what the reservation said. Blue no matter who. That's not.
That's about the way it is right here on this Mississippi River Delta.
There she is. And she ain't got much time because I know she has a meeting.
Yeah, but she's got a smile.
I know. We had to kick the other pretty girl off to get another one on.
Who'd you just kick off?
She's up there somewhere. I don't know what she's doing. Probably going to
getting
the
a
bathroom.
snack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That figured. Or a Dr. Pepper. Naomi,
I have one.
Just throw it out there. What we need to know. I know you're smiling, and I know it ain't because you're on the show. I think you're smiling because you're done crying about it.
You know, I didn't cry about it until today. So, but yeah, we there's less than 3 weeks until I get to go lion hunting this year. And I thought that wasn't going to happen. There's a little over.
You would have got to go this year, but you wouldn't have got to go next year for sure.
I don't know. With Polis and his husband, we were fully expecting an executive order to come down, telling us that it's the will of the people and it was going to shut down if that went through.
Right.
So, but it didn't go through by a very good margin. And I get to lion hunt in a couple weeks and I get to set traps and the 1st of December. So
Good deal.
Yeah.
It's like speechless about it. It's just like crazy because I think in the beginning everybody thought they're done.
Yeah.
Even me, when I was asked that question, I said, "Man, I don't see any hope for it. I can hope for it, but I'm not seeing a pot of gold at that rainbow, into that rainbow,
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I felt too. But I knew
in the middle, I started thinking they might pull it off because I seen all the districts coming out, all these people, the Post come out and said this is stupid. And I thought maybe, and I really think all that exposure changed some people's minds. I really do.
Well, open their eyes anyway.
More than that, I mean, sportsmen came together in a way that we've never seen before. I've never seen it before from across the nation. I mean, you guys and across the world, really, coming out and not only supporting financially, but just with whatever they could, with shares and their time. We had a guy from New York just fly in and set up a table. He was a wildlife conservation historian is what his degree was in, and he flew in from New York and set up a table in Boulder, and that's insane. And so I think we really started to realize that we got to beat them at their game with their game. So it wasn't just us here in Colorado. So it's still sinking in, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I bet you everybody just sits back and wants to take a nap now, like, but now it's not over. It isn't over because they'll find something else to come back. And I think the donations still need to come in. I think people still need the rallies. They still need to get with everybody. You guys got the NHA that you're trying to build, or if that don't happen, something needs to happen as far as.
Yeah, we got a meeting tomorrow. So I'll update you after that. With Cody and I working so hard on this Colorado stuff and TL working on that hurricane recovery. We just decided that, we're spread a little thin and we need to reorganize on the 7th. So
let's bring up TL, that guy. Holy moly. The stuff they're getting and putting out there, he'll send me updates like generators, drills, anything somebody needs.
Yeah.
Water pumps, fans. Like those guys are hammering it. I mean, it was to the point I said, "What do you need?" And he's kind of like, "Man, we got too much stuff." I mean, I think Amazon was telling them, "You guys got to come here, the post office, and pick stuff up. We can't haul it all to you." So they're doing a super good job. TL Jones, his church, I don't know who else is actually involved in that. A lot of people, but they're taking care of those people. Trailers, getting people back on their feet. That's a good deal. So
yeah, and then and the work here in Colorado, and I mean, I'm still optimistic that we have a good group of people. I mean, perfect examples that we just brought up, So it'll be good. It'll be good.
Well, I think the win in Colorado too tells people, hey, it can be done, even in that kind of state. With Denver's not exactly very red or very, but there's no lions in Denver. That's what these people don't understand. There's no lions in Los Angeles, no lions in Phoenix, So,
yeah, it was interesting watching it come in because I mean, and just to win it by that margin too, like you would hope, like a 70%, but that's unachievable. But 55, I mean, that's pretty darn good. And
it's better than I thought.
Yeah, I should have screenshotted it. But there's only like 3, maybe 4 counties that voted yes. And of course, a couple of them, one had Telluride, and then 2 were near Denver. But I mean, even along the Front Range, we got Colorado Springs, we got Fort Collins, and they voted no, and that's just huge. yeah, we can speculate a lot why. I mean, Dan's Justin, the president of UHC today in a call called him a straight up warrior, and I think that's a pretty good term for Dan. I don't know what else to call him without him and his experience fighting this type of group for 30 years. We wouldn't have been able to do anything, but we had that going, and we had his campaign, and then we had a campaign that came in and started their own issues committee in early October, and I think that kind of made an impact as well. So,
I talked to a guy that kind of helped him. Well, we just got introduced, and he said that, I thought, I don't want him to be mad. I'm starting something else. He said, man, the more groups, the better. The more groups, the better. Because everybody has their little circle where they are, So I was kind of pleasantly surprised where he said, no, it's absolutely great. The more groups, the better. But you guys know what you're up against now, and maybe, it always peters out in the end, but it needs to not peter out in the end. It needs to really, people need to realize this money still needs to come in, whether it sits in an account for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever the next ballot initiative can get on, that this money still needs to come in. And
I hope people realize that it takes money to go on the offensive as well.
What did you spend on legislature? Dan said like $300,000 just on the lobbying part of it. It was some outrageous number.
Yeah,
just for lawyers to fight the title. Like, the title of the you guys had to change the title because it's just little stuff like that people don't realize.
Yeah, that was huge. So like when this originally came out in the Blue Book on the ballot was going to be prohibit trophy hunting. Yes or no? That's what they wanted it to say. And if it said that, it would have been a lot different. And we fought it. And that stuff costs money. You need a title lawyer. You can't just go wing it. You can try, but it's not going to work.
You need somebody that knows the language and can talk the verbiage.
You got to talk lawyer. Yeah. And we got it switched around from trophy hunting to prohibit hunting of. And they got greedy. They went for the whole thing. There's another, and people don't know this, I guess, we can go for a whole recap, but they tried to run another initiative that would have allowed for a 2-week season at the end of December. And I think that would have been detrimental as well, because then we're not fighting a whole ban, and people would have seen, you guys can still hunt them. Exactly.
Yeah.
So for some reason they didn't do that, and for some reason they didn't come after just dogs, which might be next, which is scary. But they got greedy. They tried to take it all, and it's just too much for a logical person to ban like this. I think
what needs to happen is the commercials need to just constantly play, and the word trophy needs to be swapped around and made as something good. I've seen some good commercial where trophy was like you got to take the little kids with their little spike trophy or their meat trophy. Like they used the word trophy and they made it not what they're making it. Their big thing, right, Jared, on all is you guys, I've seen where they said, I don't know why you got to kill everything. Why don't you just treat them and let them loose? I don't think the public knows how many bears, lions, bobcats are let loose.
Yep.
Yeah.
That people have treated and let go,
Yeah, like my dad, he's hunted 10 years and treat a lot of cats, and he hasn't killed one, because he wants that active tag in his pocket. Yep. As soon as he spends his tag. The only reason he'd kill one is, on the last day of the season. Otherwise, why would he? He can hunt tomorrow,
We've killed, Cody Lynn? 11 bears maybe in 15 years. Cody Lynn killed one, and now Cody Lynn has killed her first bear. And the only reason we killed her bear because we treated 23 sows in 1 year. 23 sows in one unit. So we killed some sows.
I'm
And we
pretty sure that
didn't
was
shut
on
the
like
unit down.
close to the last day.
Yeah, and it was like late, and we treated a sow, and Cody Lynn took that sow. But now Cody Lynn is she's not gonna shoot another bear unless it's a good bear. Like,
Yeah.
she's already got her bear. That was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Cody.
I
Been
think
a
so.
while. You know, and my two boys, they got their bears, first bears, 10 years old, you know, and Cody Lynn's been hunting with me as a kid, and I remember we had a bad bear hunt when she was 8 years old, and I was dragging her around and throwing her behind trees because we had a mean bear. And I said, I'll never take another kid that's not 12 years old, and here I am. 10-year-old boys were dragging them around, and 6-year-old twin girls. But that's the trophy. Even going on the hunt is a trophy to these kids. You know, my 6-year-old girls have memories of bears in the tree.
Yeah, I didn't cry the entire time. I thought I was going to. I thought I was just going to bawl if this went through or didn't go through or went through or whatever, until my mom reposted my testimony in front of the Capitol when they tried to take this at the legislative level in 2021. And that's pretty much what my whole 3 minutes was testifying, was what a trophy was to me. And yeah, and so mom, you know, was all cute about it. She posted that and she's like, this is where it started, and look at what they defeated today. And I watched the video of myself testifying at the Capitol for the first time, and I was like, holy crap, you know, this is bigger than right now, I guess. Bigger than I realized, bigger than I gave myself credit for. It's huge. It's a big deal.
And that was 3 years ago?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I reposted it. And yeah, to this day, I'm like, I don't think I can make an impact like I did that day. For some reason, my words just came together very nicely at the Colorado Capitol 3 years ago. And yeah, it started something that I didn't foresee, but here we are, another victory. So
yep. And they'll keep coming. And I think it's getting harder for, you know, they keep trying to pull their tricks, and I think it's getting harder for them to do these tricks because of social media. And this is a good example where social media can be good, you know, because a lot of people like to post stupid stuff and they do their First Amendment stuff, and it drives me crazy. But social media also can be used for good. And I think this time, I think was what, 70% of 75% at getting the word out is social media, if not more.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
probably
I know,
more. Probably more.
UHC ran a lot of ads. We did a lot of interviews with some biologists, and you know, as a C3, we can't tell people to vote no, so we could never say vote no. But every video that we put out there, I mean, how could you not vote no at the end of that video? Was, you know, kind of the game plan.
You can make them aware of the situation.
Yeah, you can educate.
Yep.
That's what we were doing.
There's a lot you can do without saying yes or no.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and and we got to keep doing that. We got to keep pushing, because unfortunately, as we both know, they're not done. They might hide for a little bit, but not forever.
Yeah. Mike Rich, you're never late as long as you show up. Well, it's a good deal. I think everybody's relieved now. I think we still have an uphill battle, but
oh yeah,
you know, I would have liked to have seen a bigger spread on the votes, but if it only won by one vote, I'll take it.
Yeah,
you know?
hey, that's
so
quite a bit, actually. 10 points. That's big, you know.
Yeah.
So
now we just got to get everybody involved and keep them involved instead of letting it peter away. You know how it peters away. You know, yay, we won, and everybody goes back to their life.
Says, you know, we got to go on the offense. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do this. It's like, okay, but that takes money. You know, they went on the offense. Unfortunately, we were on the defense. We beat them, but to go on the offense, you need just as much money. So, that's just the harsh reality of it. But yeah, from my heart, from United Houndsmen of Colorado and Sportsmen's Alliance and Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management, they will still be around. They were not the issues committee. The issues committee dissolves with this. So thank you guys. Thank you, each and every one of you personally. Thank you for bringing us on the show, all the way back to Dan, for finding us, for raising us money. I mean, every sportsman who gave this even a glance needs to be recognized, because it's been something I've never seen before. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I think everybody thanks you. You guys probably did more work boots on the ground than we did, but in order to obviously do that boots on the ground, it takes a lot of sense to make a dollar. That's for sure. And
absolutely. Yeah.
I think
you guys made the boots on the ground worth it. We couldn't do it without the backing and the support from Houndsmen and sportsmen really throughout the nation. So
did Dan Gates sleep all day? Take a big nap?
I wanted to so bad. I was up until 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And then, I've got a 9-month-old, so I was up at 7, before 7. So
I didn't even try to get Dan on.
Good luck. I mean, he needs a hiatus. I hope he sleeps, and I hope he takes care of himself for a little bit. And we all need to. So.
Yep, he needs to go take a 2-week vacation. That's what he needs to do.
Over 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, we need him back here though, so maybe we can give him 2 weeks and then say, hey.
Yeah, time to get back to work. Time to get back to work.
That offensive thing? Yeah, let's do it. Yep. All right, guys. I know you
got a meeting at 6. Thanks for coming on for sure. And then we're gonna get you on for the NHA stuff. So once you get that together, let me know, and we'll just keep in touch for that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All righty. Thank you. Rowdy.
Hey, I'm pulling over so we don't have road noise here. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good day.
I think everybody's just kind of relieved.
Oh man, it's been a pretty good day. We did pretty good, nationwide.
Yep. I think people are realizing that the Democrats went too far left. Just like in the 80s, everybody thought that the Republicans went real right, and we did. They did. So they get off course. And I think even a lot of the Democrats, and I've ran into people in the woods that said, I haven't voted Democrat for 12 years. So, and they were Democrats. So it don't matter to me. You just got to get somebody in there, run that country right,
Yeah, and it definitely was not being ran right. It was all of our money was being sent everywhere else.
I hope that stops. I hope some money gets allocated for our country. I hope some pipelines get opened up. I hope workers get back to work. So
100%. Yep.
Well, the stock market liked it.
I heard the stock market just went crazy today.
Oh, yeah. Everybody holds their money until the elections. And this one was a real important one because I just think Kamala was a puppet that was too stupid. I don't think she was even a good puppet,
I agree with that.
So, and I think Biden just got old, and Obama was too smart. So we'll see what happens. He has 4 years to get shit straight. He has 4 years to line it up for the next 4 years, because 4 years ain't a long time. I've talked to a lot of people, and sometimes, who was I talking to? Jared, somebody today that said 4 years, it was good for 1776, but it's we didn't have 300 million people in the day. You know, it's a different world.
Well, you only had 13 colonies back then, you know.
Well, I thought that the 4-year term got implemented in like the early 1900s.
No, because Washington only did 2 terms.
I think it's
been.
I think he did like
4 years.
He did a few terms.
Yeah, he did like 4 terms.
And they only
like 4 or 5, yeah.
So he was president for 20 years.
But so it was only 2 terms. So it's 4 years, but it wasn't limited to 2 terms.
Yeah, there was no limit.
Okay.
Because they wanted to make Washington the king,
honestly,
and he didn't want to be the king.
Yep.
I don't mind not having term limits if they're doing their job. Problem is, you get like California where they keep a guy in that.
Yeah, then you get Pelosi making $180 million a year.
I think every one of them ought to have term limits, and you can't run for office but once in your lifetime.
I think that
You think you'd get anything done though?
No, but at least you wouldn't be stuck with this junk we got now.
Yeah.
I think that the Congress shouldn't be allowed to implement any laws for us, for the folks, that doesn't pertain to them. Period.
Yeah. Well, isn't that already
I really
a law?
believe that
they're just not.
Well,
isn't that already a law that they're not? God dang it! I had the word in my head and now I lost it. But anyways, they're not keeping to.
Get up here.
You know, I don't know, but I think that tar and feather needs to come back. And if we only did a little bit of tarring and feathering for 6 months, things would change overnight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roosevelt stayed in for 16 years? I didn't know that. Then who's the other president? Cleveland, that did 2 separate terms, split terms, got out, came back, did another 4 years. I think it was Cleveland.
I'm not real clear on that.
Yep. Robert.
Dang, somebody said ask Benny, he was there.
Oh,
that was during the Depression.
Come on now,
I'm
guys.
old enough to know that we studied all this stuff in grade school and high school, and that was prior to throwing away history.
Grover Cleveland, 1890s.
Yeah, that was just a few months before I was around.
Few months.
Maybe a decade. Well, what do you think, Robert? You relieved? You good? You good now?
Yeah, I mean, for the last week or so, I thought we were going to be good. So, but yeah,
I think in the end, we had a lot of hope. A lot of hope. You didn't want to say, yeah, we're going to win it because you jinxed yourself, but I was more optimistic in the last 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks than I was. If you'd asked me, I think everybody did ask everybody 2-3 months ago, and we didn't want to say no. Yes, it was going to pass. And we knew it wasn't going to be no at that point.
Right.
So,
Robert,
but
yeah,
I got a question.
I may have an answer.
Do you think the wolf introduction and how catastrophic failure it was helped with this?
I would definitely say so. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they did a poll like a month after when they figured out everything with the wolves, and it was something like 50% of the people that voted for the wolves regretted voting for them after that.
Wow.
They found out where the wolves were going and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big.
Buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely buyer's remorse.
What they say, hindsight's 20/20.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, good thing they put them next to the Wyoming border.
They just showed up in my town just in the last week.
Oh shit.
We just got video confirmation last week.
It makes you wonder if they did it on purpose because they were crappy wolves anyways. Why not put them on that border?
Well, I think within a week, a Wyoming rancher shot one checking cows and filled his wolf tag.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
They need.
That's
Do they
just
get
like
to keep the collars?
stocking the
I think they
No,
give you a
but-
replica if you want one.
stocking the trout waters when you're standing right there with bait 10 feet from the truck.
Yep.
Is that
Hey,
Well,
illegal?
there's
guys,
a guy in California.
I'm gonna jump out of here. I enjoyed it.
Night,
Cody Lynn,
All
thank
right.
you.
Have a good night, Benny.
See you, Benny.
See you, Benny.
And the time change got me. It's 5 o'clock here right now.
You know what? I forgot it was. Yeah, it's 4
He's in
o'clock back where you
Arizona,
guys
so
are.
they don't do
Yeah,
that.
Arizona's
We don't do.
like
Yeah,
free country. They don't do that crap.
I don't know why New Mexico changes. I don't know why the West Coast changes. Like, just leave it alone. Just leave
Because
it
you get more
alone. Who
production
cares?
out of people.
Yeah, only us
In the
white
wintertime,
people
it.
cutting 2 inches off the top of a blanket and adding it to the bottom would make it longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
You know,
I like to wake up at 5:30 now to go lion hunting instead of 2 in the morning.
I still
You
prefer
know?
the 1 o'clock.
because
Huh?
yeah, because it don't get light till 7.
Yeah, and don't get light till 7, instead of
Or what?
6. Yeah, I get to sleep in an extra hour.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
Well, I can turn the
look
dogs
who
loose as
showed
soon as
up.
I get home.
Look who showed up.
Dylan.
I don't know if I have. Axel, give me your email. We'll bring you on real quick. We're going to hammer you for disappearing on us for a month. That's old Dylan.
Oh, okay.
So
But
is everybody happy, Robert? You
Oh,
get a
yeah.
bunch of texts and emails and
My phone has been blown up all day.
That's good stuff, man. That's awesome.
shoot, my phone's been blown up and I live in Arizona. Everybody asking me, did it pass? Did it pass? What is it?
Yep.
And then one of
But it took so long to confirm it this morning. See, we were up at least 2 o'clock last night waiting for one county in Colorado to finalize.
yeah.
And finally we passed out, and it didn't. I don't know when it actually updated, but
Well, who was that?
Wasn't
Chris
9 o'clock
Chris,
this morning.
who is the guy? Chris Cessna or whatever. I think he posted it didn't pass, or it passed or something, and everybody got all confused. I don't know if he's joking or not.
Well, actually, there was a news channel that broadcasted that it was off. They got the numbers switched around and said that it had passed. And then they came on
gotcha.
15 minutes later and like, oh, we got all the numbers wrong. It didn't pass. But
Yeah,
no, we stayed watching it all night last night.
There you go.
that's the first thing I checked. I checked to see if Trump won, and I went to 127, and then I went to 134 in Arizona. Arizona's 134 would have saved our ass. It would have been great. And I don't think, I just don't, it passed. It didn't pass. It needed to pass. I don't think people understood it.
Yeah.
I don't think there was.
Well, we talked about that. They weren't sharing commercials until a week ago about that.
Yeah, it wasn't very. It wasn't. They didn't do a good job on it, and I don't think anybody. I just learned about it a few weeks ago, so I don't think anybody knew about it and what it could do.
For loss on that one.
It was
like
big. It was like your guys'
60-40, right? Oh, I
Huh?
thought 60%, 40%. I thought.
Oh, was it?
But they haven't finished counting, so I just know it got higher. They only have so many votes, so if it gets over a certain vote, they know it's going to win.
Yeah.
How come? I don't know. Arizona's always slow.
It's amazing.
How come it takes days or more for Arizona to count ballots, but Florida can do it in 2 hours?
Because they're all slow.
We don't have as many Spanish people to read the ballots. I don't know.
Arizona's like 48th in education.
Oh shit!
Louisiana's 49.
I think you're right on that too.
49
or 50th. Yeah, we might even be 51. We may be behind Puerto Rico.
Hey, I heard. I was watching a thing on crime in Arkansas. Louisiana's like #1 in crime per capita. That's crazy. No wonder you're so angry all the time, Jeremy. No wonder you have a job security
I've
over there.
worked 6 murders since I came back from Arizona.
Dear Lord.
Craig, you guys got a lot of gangs?
In a parish that's only got 12,000 registered voters.
What?
Or 12,000 residents, 7,500 registered voters.
So Arkansas, a lot of those back east states, it was Arkansas, Louisiana. I think Arkansas was second, Louisiana was first, crime per capita per 1,000. You know, is it because it's more rural? There's not big urban like there's more rural country.
It's rural people trying to act like they live in LA.
Yeah.
You know,
You have a lot of gangs?
if you want to call them that, they're not organized.
They're just a bunch
Most
of groups
gangs are
hanging out.
Organization.
A posse.
They're just idiots.
Posse.
I assume it's all drug related.
90% of it.
Yeah,
That
so they're
stupidity.
are they using or
What's your-
manufacturing in that county or that parish?
Using. They're not smart enough to manufacture.
Well,
Oh,
the
all right.
manufacturers are blowing themselves up and using.
Well, it's come across the border faster than we can adhere to the problem. I mean, back when I first started, meth was like just kind of starting, and people were manufacturing it, and it was costing, quite a lot for, just a little bit. Now it's cheaper than crack.
Yeah. Well,
Now, where are you guys getting all the drugs from? Is it from boat? From
Dealers.
a boat?
They're coming from Texas.
Texas?
No, so they're
there's
just
a lot of
driving
that
it
coming
in.
out of Mexico.
Yep.
Yep.
I
Eagle
imagine
Pass.
99% of it.
Every one of those hot spots on the border.
Well, here in
Well.
about what is it, 90 days, they're going to be labeled as terrorists, domestic terrorists.
Drug runners.
Well,
Yeah,
cartels
smugglers.
in general.
Well,
They need to be. They're killing our communities.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is this?
it's
Okay.
it's hard to control that stuff, especially out of Mexico. And Mexico's so corrupt.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
Well, it's not just Mexico. America's pretty corrupt too.
We are.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get rid of the CIA. They're freaking the biggest drug dealer in the world.
A lot of those, what do they call them? Alphabet people, the alphabet
Yeah.
people,
Yep.
DEA,
Alphabet boys. Letter
FBI,
people.
CIA,
Letter
ICE.
people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. When we bust these guys, our big dealers, they're like, what are you messing with me for? They think it's a legitimate business. And then when I take all their stuff, they're like, why are you taking all that from me? You're wrong. I'm like, well, you didn't earn it. Like I had to earn mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever
Yep.
watch that TV series Narcos?
Yep.
No.
I've seen the first when it first came out.
With Pablo Escobar, all the Mexican cartels. There's like 4 seasons.
Yep.
Of it, 3 seasons of it. It's all political
You just
bullshit
watch
on why Pablo left.
it. Just watch.
Oh yeah.
Well, watch the documentary on Pablo. It's crazy. And the only thing he screwed up on is he started blowing up civilians. That's
he blew
where
up
he
that
screwed
plane
up.
first. When he blew up
Yep.
that plane,
Put him on the big radar, and when he started hitting civilians, they started turning him in.
Yep. What's crazy is a picture that they posted after they got Pablo.
Hey, look, Jared. You ever seen Cody Lynn in just regular jeans and not hobo pants?
No.
I
Just
didn't
be a
even know she
personal
had
ass.
long hair.
I know.
Yeah,
She
I
actually
never noticed she had
washed
long
it.
hair. She usually got it up. I'm wearing a ball cap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But they held Pablo Escobar up when they killed him. They held him up like a dead lion. It's a wild picture.
Oh, the guy had his own
Really?
prison, man. What do you expect, you know?
Yeah, he was hated.
Yep.
Who's
Well, let's talk
who took his territory over?
Chapo.
No, Chapo didn't. Chapo
It's different.
didn't. It was God dang it!
Oh,
It
I'm
was
trying to
three
think.
of them.
Yeah. It don't matter. It's just like a lion hunting. That cartel's like lion hunting. You kill a big Tom out of there. What happens? Another Tom comes in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Now it's gonna bug me that I don't, because I'm I was addicted to that show. But
You're gonna have to watch it again.
it was three guys.
Let's see. I'm not seeing who took over for Pablo.
But they hated Pablo. So them and Pablo were always fighting. So once Pablo died, they took over. And then they only lasted like 5-6 years longer, 7 years longer than Pablo, and then they turned themselves in for a plea deal.
Pablo was smart. He had the people on his side. He was a Robin Hood
until
he
Until he went crazy and killed citizens.
One of those three, Jared, he teaches for the FBI now.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, you can help me on this. Where did they bust Mayo at? Mayo?
I don't know.
He just got busted in July.
Like here in Arizona?
Well, I think he got busted in Texas. So El Chapo's son did it. Mayo. He was the other head honcho with Chapo in the Sinaloa cartel. But Chapo's son told him that this is just what I've heard. Chapo's son told him, "Hey, we're gonna go buy some property on the border." And they got on a private plane, and when he got on the plane, there were federal agents on the plane, and they flew him into
El Paso, Texas.
Is where they got him.
Well, yeah, he's like 76 years old.
They only have like 10 pictures of the guy.
The United States announced it had arrested Ismael Elmeo Zambada and 38-year-old Joaquin Guzman Lopez at rural airport near El Paso, Texas.
Yep. So Joaquin Guzman.
Oh, the other was the son of Joaquin, El Chapo Guzman.
Yeah, so that was Chapo's son that set Mayo up.
Ooh.
And now all shit's breaking loose between so the Sinaloa cartel split in two. You have a Mayo side and a Chapo side, and they're all butting heads right now. So the Sinaloa cartel is going to fall apart here hopefully soon.
Oh, I guess I should.
But can we talk about trash breaking dogs?
Yeah, let's talk about trash breaking. We talked about 127
cartels for Christ's
it passed. Yeah.
God, man, I'm
rabbit
so
holes.
happy
You know we
about
go on
that.
rabbit holes.
Yeah.
So
I
like to let my pups trash until they're old enough to start trailing, and then I put them on the right stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I slowly do it, and this last litter I had, they're doing much better now. So like I said, I think I've said it before, is this last litter that I had, I started at a year old. Other than just having them around and letting them do their thing around the yard and everything until they were old enough to be like athletic. And there was 9 months was in the middle of summer, so I started putting them in the truck and taking them out and just exercising them with the dogs. But then at a year old is when fire season slowed down for me, so I was able to actually start hunting. And last winter they weren't doing all that good. A couple of them started to turn on, but this winter, last couple hunts I've had with them, they're doing really good. And now I'm starting to trash break them. Well, I started towards the end of last season, and now they're 2 years old, and they're turning on really nice.
Do you think once you get them on do you start trash breaking them after you get them on a couple pieces of game that they should be on?
So originally, what I would do is when they were going after something that I didn't like, I would tone them back, and I felt
Yeah.
like, and that's what I did with my hog dogs. But hunting hogs is a lot different than hunting deer, so or hunting hunting lions.
You said it right.
So usually they're trashing on deer, and now I just let them go. Up until now, I would let them go and do their thing, and then I would tone them. And if they didn't listen after the third tone, because I give my regimen is 3 beeps. I go beep, 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 and then if they don't listen, I give them about a minute. Then I'll beep them 3 more times. If they don't listen, I'll wait another minute, beep them 3 more times, and then I'll give them a zap. But it's I start off light until they start to, until they acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And then I don't start giving them a high voltage zap until they're like 3 years old and they're still not listening.
Like they're
But
dead
then,
trashing.
yeah, and I make sure I'm 100% sure that they're on trash, and then I do the extinction training. So anytime that they go after a deer, after a coyote, I've started lighting them up, and once I started doing that, it's really helped on these older dogs that I had from. My oldest is 5, and I started that with him at 3.5, and by 4 he was doing really good. So. Yeah, that's my regiment, and I like to give them a 3 tones 3 times, just so that I know in my head that they absolutely know they're doing wrong and they're ignoring me.
You're more patient than I am.
Yep.
Well, different terrain too.
Well, we've got a lot more deer,
like
thicker. You can't.
Yeah.
90% of the time, you can't tell unless you're watching your Garmin and you know what deer look like when they run on the Garmin.
For sure.
Rowdy,
you know,
what do you have for trash in your area?
Fox, coyotes, deer, sheep, horses, some elk.
Are you worried about the fox so much? A lot of people don't worry about them foxes when they're lion hunting.
I don't let them run fox if I can see it tracks and they try after, go after it. I'll tone them, and I'll do the same regiment, because I don't want them. I don't want to be cold trailing no fox.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna jump to Jared, because Jared, you know where he hunts. Is your guys' terrain the same?
Down by me?
Or do you got is where he's hunting in Nevada drier than where you're hunting down there?
Oh, what he's hunting is way drier than what I got.
Oh, I got you. That's what I'm saying. It's probably a little bit different too.
Like
what do you have for? You got monkeys, a lot of monkeys.
Yeah, I got monkeys.
You got a lot of coatimundi.
But I thought I had trash book dogs until I came here.
And what are they? Is it the? You think it's the environment, the terrain that's causing more trash?
Not the terrain. It's just the amount of game in southern Arizona is freaking ridiculous. You have mule deer, coos deer, javelina, coatimundi, coyotes, gray fox. Ring-tailed cats,
badgers.
Yeah.
You got all sorts of stuff, and half those things climb trees and bay up and fight. That's where the issue comes in for me down here on the border, where when I hunted where Rowdy did, it was so wide open and everything. If I got on top of a ridge, I could see the deer running in front of the dogs, and I could light their necks up. Or down here, shoot. Sometimes, you've been down here. You can't see 20 feet in front of you. It gets so brushy. So down here, it's really, like, that's why I stick to the washes as much as I can. At least I can see something then.
Yeah.
And I bought a dog last year for 65, almost $7,000 last year. A little over 6,500 bucks.
He's rich. Don't let him. His
No.
wife. Wait. His wife probably got the money.
There we go. There we go.
He's married without kids, and his wife's
Yep.
always gone,
Oh.
so he gets to hunt
Yep.
as much as he wants.
Exactly.
Lucky dog.
Lucky
But
dog.
I bought this dog. She ran a deer on Friday. My 1.5-year-old puppy didn't even look at her. He's like, "What is she doing?" And she just took off, and like everyone's looking at her. And I just see, luckily, as on top of her, because usually if she barks, all right, we're going for it.
Yeah.
And no one was paying attention to her. And I'm like, what is going on? So I run up on top of this ridge and I see a deer going down a horse trail or a cow trail. And she's 200 yards behind it, head up barking. And I was like, all right, I'll give her benefit of the doubt. She's not dumb. And I was like, if that deer pails right and she goes right, I'm going to light her up. And she went right where that deer went. And I was like, all right, we're done. Bam. And she came right back. But I don't know why she did it.
You've been
Spur of
on
the
lions.
moment,
Good
they had
dog.
jumped
And you've
up
been
right in front
hunting.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just
Got
and we
excited.
trailed the line that whole day. We were heading back to the truck.
She's like,
How
if I
old
can't
is
catch
deer?
that lion, I'm gonna
Yeah.
catch a deer.
Yeah. Like just shit like that doesn't make sense. But now when it comes to puppies, like my little black and tan puppy, he's a year old. He was a year old 1st October. And he's already rubbing his nose red on everything. I mean, he just sniffs all day.
Yeah.
But I'll let him go. He'll bark and he'll take off barking, and I'll just yell at the big dogs to come with me. And we'll go the other way. And I'll let him go off and play by himself for hours. I won't see him for 2-3 hours. And then
Bam.
he'll
There
come
you-
back. Yeah, and then he'll come back. And by the end of the day, his tail's between his legs and he's tired because he's ran about 20 miles on his own.
So
But
you
guess
think that
what?
teaches them, like,
yeah, he's
hey,
not hanging out with anyone. He's like, "What the shit,
Yeah.
guys?" And then
Yeah.
the next day, when he don't want to wake up in the morning and go hunting, I still take him out because now his head's screwed on straight, and he doesn't really start a whole lot of shit. He just
Yeah.
kind of goes. He's with the dogs, but he's not doing anything. He's just there because he has to be, type of deal. And then when the dogs start trailing, he'll start going and paying attention because he still gets excited when they bark, But you
Yeah.
gotta run that buck out of him for a little bit, And hunting a dog with sore feet the next day is not a bad deal.
slows them down, makes them be more
Slows 'em-
meticulous.
Well, when you were 12 years old, and your dad let you out for a little bit after being cooped up in the house, you're wild and crazy,
Yeah.
But after 2 days of working with them or whatever, and then once you start calming down and being quiet, you start listening a lot better.
Kind of like roading. It's kind of like roading your dogs before you go hunt. I've noticed,
Yeah.
when you rode your dogs a couple miles, or let's say 5 miles, get them just on a road, run them out, throw them back in the truck, kind of calms them down a little bit,
Yeah.
And then when you get on, because if you just throw them out of the truck on the track, oh God, they got to shit everywhere, and then they got to piss everywhere.
Yeah.
The puppies are running around playing. So I think if you have that little 10, 30-minute deal before you get out, or maybe, it don't work at your house. I'd let them out at the house too. Let them run around. You get them in a truck, they know they're going hunting. They get all amped up again. They know when you're going hunting. They hear me drop my tailgate to load them in the mornings, and they get nuts. So.
Yeah.
About you, Jeremy? Jeremy has different terrain. Bad,
Yeah.
like a lot of
First
moisture.
problem is it's not wide open like where y'all are. Y'all have public land that's just ungodly. I mean, I have a 100,000 acre patch right down the road, but it's only open for 2 months out of the year. So I'm hunting small patches, and what's a herd of deer where y'all are at? 4, 5?
Yeah.
We may see
9 if you're lucky.
10, 10 is a minimum here. And
Oh, wow.
So, deer, possums, that's generally our problems. And possums, they're not really a problem except for right after a rain. And a young dog, sometimes old dogs, they're just gonna tree them. But just because I guess they stink. But anyway, deer are main problems. Hogs. I got one that likes cat, or thought he liked cows when I brought him to Arizona. He bait a bunch of them, and I turned.
Do you not have cows there?
Yeah, we got cows.
It's different because when I moved to Nevada, I used to run coons in feedlots in Montana in the summer, and my dogs never paid attention to the cows. I hunted those desert range cows or lions in Nevada. I caught 2 bulls the first time I went out.
No
You
kidding.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a herd right down there by Fallon that I take my pups out to. Them freaking cows will run them pups underneath the truck.
Oh yeah.
Coyotes, I assume. So that's kind of where I train them to road and exercise them. I like that spot because there's plenty of water. But them cows teach them. They're like, a 6-8 month old.
You don't want to chase us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're getting chased by a 800-pound cow with horns, it's pretty intimidating for them.
Yep. But yeah, my first time in Nevada, man, that was a rude awakening. I thought I caught my first desert lion, and I come over a hill, and they got a bull bait up in a wash.
Hey.
See, that's like me. When mine trash, you're crawling on your hands and knees through palmettos and the water moccasins and the copperheads and rattlesnakes, and you get in there's a 400-pound bear fighting with your dogs, and you're like, where do I go?
Right.
You go forward because he sees you, he's gone most of the time unless you got a mean dog.
I bet you,
Who's
Brett.
that?
I bet you he's deer hunting right now.
No, I wish I was.
Oh no.
Oh shoot.
I'm in an undisclosed undercover location.
Just don't let your badge shine.
It's not showing, is it?
No.
Good.
Trash.
The one on your hat is.
Trash, Brett. You know about trash.
Man, do I know about trash?
Yep. You got really bare area down there, Brett. Really bare.
Yeah.
What's the conversation? What are y'all talking about?
Well, he's talking about the area where Rowdy was hunting. It's kind of open, ain't it, Rowdy?
Yeah, but it's you got a lot of pinyon pines, but it's so steep. All you got to do is get on a little ridge, and you can look for half a mile and see what they're running. Just because the layout of the land, you can actually see.
Yeah.
I haven't had much trouble with fast game. I mean, the biggest problem my suspicion is, I think we cold trail coyotes from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And that scares me.
And the only trouble you have is javelinas.
Oh, I'll catch a javelina every now and then. They're almost fun.
I don't know why they don't let us run dogs in javelina in Arizona. They got units open that you can kill 2 a year. So it's like, dang, why don't you just let these guys run dogs on them? They would.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, I catch quite a few in a hole. I say quite a few. I've caught like 4 or 5 in holes. They get in a hole and then they sit in there and pop their jaws and threaten me.
Yep.
But and my older dogs, I really don't have that much trouble with javelinas anymore. It's those young dogs. Of course, everybody has trouble with the young dogs. If you don't have trouble with the young dogs, they're not very good.
Yep.
They're not hunting.
They ain't hunting.
It's time to get rid of them. If they want trash when they're young, you got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing when they trash, Brett? Shocking them right away. Young dogs, kind of.
Yeah, no, what I try to do is I try to put a real good handle on them to start with, and then I tone them back to me, because I don't catch enough lions to really get them broke solid, So I try to put a good enough handle on them where I can deter them until I get on something good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's right or wrong. It just, I've ruined some dogs in the past, and I sure don't like to do that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm guiding hunters where I got a, $6,000 paying customer there with me. Where you got to be so careful.
Yeah, Jared was telling me about one of his dogs that run off and run around. But it reminds me of that story you told where I think it was you, where the dog would run off with the deer. I don't remember who it was, and the dog would come back, and he said he was more mad. He came back, quit trailing that deer. Than who was that?
Well, I've heard that story before.
Yeah.
See, if you're going to run them, you better try a little harder.
Yeah. I
So if
met
they're
a guy
running,
that used to
Go ahead.
run with Ollie Barney down here on the border.
Yeah.
And he's like, Ollie had the trashiest dogs. And he's like, they ran everything. But Ollie always said, he's like, I don't mind if they trash as long as they trail a little bit of a line today.
There you go. Yeah. When I was with Mike Root, we went, I took him up there where I'd caught that big tom, and he had some clients with him, and
Yeah.
we went up through there and we couldn't get it started. And he had a young dog there with him. And I heard that dog just take off. Wah, 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 and he never even turned around. He never looked. And we rode on for a little ways. And I asked him, I said, well, Mike, I said, what about that young dog? He said, he's chasing the coyote. He'll be back after a while. And we didn't see that dog again until that afternoon. He never worried about him, never was concerned.
Y'all have that
90%
pretty easy down there, though.
90% of the time, them dogs come back. I used to get real worried too, but the day I decided I needed shot, I didn't have GPS for shot. The day I decided I needed shot collars, hunting over in Snowflake area, and I heard a couple of dogs take off. One particular, I was up on a ridge. I look over and I had a good handle on my dog, but that dog took off after that coyote, and I watched him, and I yelled at him, and that dog didn't give a crap about me. And I said, I better get me some influencers, some electronical influencers. And that's when I bought some shot collars. And I tell you what, those guys that say that used to, rope them dogs and do whatever in the old days, and I don't know who it was, said, one shot collar, you could train a dog with one shot collar and quicker than you can train 3 dogs, any other way. Or 3 dogs with a shot collar, the time you can train 1 dog the old ways.
Mm-hmm. I've heard.
I remember with the old shot collar, been right, with the old, it had the red, blue, and green, I think, button, the old Tritronics, and riding along, and young dogs jump a coyote and just be boiling after him, and me wait, and then think, oh man, now I'm gonna hit him, and the dog that's walking right next to me, ow! I shot the wrong dog.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's happened a few times.
No, funny about that. Oh, we were wading around lost in this slough, wading water waist deep. This time of the year, snakes are everywhere. We're give out. We got the dogs caught. My grandpa was too proud to look at his compass. And you ask him, where we at? He said, well, we're in the woods walking through the water. And we find a low spot where we could, drain our boots. Me and my cousin, we're leaned up against an old tree. We're just tongues hung out. And he leans over and lands on that button on that shot collar and shocked the dog right over beside us. And he went to hollering, snake, snake. And we climbed 2 trees right there beside that dog. And he's over there just rolling, laughing because he shocked that dog.
Yeah.
Now,
that was before the little yellow, green, and red button.
Yeah.
I've heard old timers say when they shock a dog, they want that dog almost to be looking at the game they shock them on. That way they think
they know what they're getting shocked.
Yeah, with the shock.
They associate it with the off game, yeah.
Now, I've also noticed is when I shock my dogs off game, they also break a lot faster. I don't whoop on them, but I talk to them pretty mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when they come back. Now,
do you think it's from me shocking them or them being like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't run that thing because every time I do, Dad gets pissed at me when I come back.
They
I
know.
think
I would say both.
they understand your attitude. I mean, if you've here,
Yep.
Tim, I think it's ready. I think they, you know, you get after them. You know, you holler at them for barking in the dog box or doing whatever. Hey, you know, so they know what that means. So surely
Kind
they
of like,
associate. And I said earlier, I don't shop. Now, if they ball out of there, you know, 90 miles an hour, and I see exactly what it is, yeah, they get a pretty good dose of electricity then.
yep.
Yep.
Because you guys were talking earlier, those old cowboys, they used to run them down and hit them with the knot on the rope.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know,
when I was a kid in high school, there was a girlfriend of mine that they had a ranch up there in the mountain. She was talking about they had a lion in there killing calves. And she said that guy came and that lion hunter came in there and his dogs ran deer. He hung them up in the tree and whipped them,
oh man,
snatched them up in the
Yep.
tree. Could you believe that? I said, oh, I don't think that's really necessary.
Yeah.
right?
Guys,
But
I hate to
maybe.
leave, but I gotta go.
No.
Alrighty.
All right.
We're taking care of my folks. My mom was in the hospital, so we got her
shoot.
home. Now we're
Wait, you got
taking them some
Tammy with
food.
you?
Hey,
Oh, he's in trouble now, guys. I'll come looking for you if I don't hear you a couple of days.
we'll put the face on the milk carton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring a weapon.
Yeah. All right, Brent.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Later.
Yep. Later.
Okay, bye-bye.
So I'm like with Rowdy. When I jump off, jump off, he jumped off. When my pups, I let them run around, and just shoot the other day, I come home and I see a rabbit run across the road, and before I get to my driveway, there's 3-4 dogs. One of them's my pit bull. One of them Thinker. One of them is that Catahoula I got, and there they go chasing that rabbit all over the place still. So I got a lot of little cottontails around my yard, so them pups just chase them all day long. You can hear them. Burr, burr. I just let them run around for 4 or 5 months until I get a call from the neighbor that says, hey, you got hound puppies again? They're down there on this road. So
Yeah.
then I start chain breaking them, of course. So
Yeah. I do that when they're little. About 3 months old, I'll stake them out for, till they decide they're going to stop fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll let them loose after about, 5 minutes of them not fighting it anymore. And I'll do that every couple days.
And
yep.
I think a big thing is the first game that they do that they play the whole game with, the first lion, bear, whatever, and they play the whole game, that play the whole trail out in the tree. You start a lion track, he's part of it, he's opening on it, and you catch that lion and he's treeing it, knock that lion out to him. His very first one.
Yep.
You don't have to do everyone, but that very first one, he'll all of a sudden he gets, and then you feed him at the tree, feed him the heart, liver, lungs, kidneys at the tree.
Reward.
He's reward, and then he's like, "Oh my goodness, Dad yells at me when I do it to deer, but this one he feeds me."
Yep.
And it's just
He's getting
multiplies it on the way back in.
I'm gonna jump off this real quick. Feeding Sydney, my Sydney dog, swelled up, turned red, just acted like she had allergies. So I pulled her off her dog food actually, and I just started feeding her meat, and it went away. I think that's that protein, too much protein, or allergic to the dog food, or just all of a sudden in the last few months.
Probably
What happened?
or something.
She swelled up. Her whole body was swollen. Like her skin was red, like itchy red. And the last time she did that, we had those seed ticks. I had her in a heat pen and she got bad. And I wasn't home. I got home after a week and she was all itched up. So I powdered it out, got it, and went away. She did it again. And I think it's the dog food. I've been feeding her just meat. Like I had a cow liver and I fed her all liver all week. And now she was in heat again. I let her out just now. And
What dog
the
food?
swelling went down. You know, she still got them sores on her from licking herself, but she actually looks a little real skinny now. Like she was really just bloated up.
Were
I
the
was feeding her
sores real?
she had one on her leg.
Were they real circle, like perfect circles?
Yep. Yeah.
So what I do so that's a bacteria on the skin, and so your dog's gonna look uglier than sin, but that blue coat clears it right up.
Well, I use Pad Hill on everything.
Yeah.
So
but
I just
that blue
noticed
coat's
that
an
she had that
antibiotic.
sore.
That blue
The
coat's an
spray?
antibiotic.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get it at Tractor Supply, and I mean your dog looks purple for.
Oh yeah, I
weeks.
know. I've used it on horses and my dogs.
But
I use it and scarlet red on everything.
Yeah.
But I fed her meat. She had liver. I fed her liver all week. I had a big cow liver, and I just cut a pound chunk off and feed it to her, and it all went away. I'm just wondering if she's allergic to that dog food.
I think she had some bacteria that got in there.
Could have had an infection. Yeah. So
did
you take
the
her
sores didn't
temperature?
come? No, I just feel her. I feel her nose and feel her.
Was she hot?
No, not really.
Yeah. So she may have had a bacteria infection, like Jared's saying. You didn't put her on any antibiotics or anything?
No, I just cut her feed.
Yeah.
I cut her feed and I just fed her pure meat, and it went away.
Because my dogs have gotten those sores from the ground. Like I had 3 dogs right next to each other on a chain, and I got 12 dogs lined out, and all 3 dogs on the same and right next to each other all caught it. No one else did, but all got it. And I did that blue coat, and it cleared up in 2 weeks. So I think it's something in the soil, actually, like a little bacteria or something penetrates the skin and causes fits.
Could be.
Could be.
The dog food you're feeding her, what brand was it? Did it have any mold in it or nothing?
No, shit. I go through food so fast it don't mold, but it was it's gosh dang it. Everybody feeds it.
Diamond.
It was the Diamond, the protein.
A high energy one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
maybe there's.
As soon as I fed her all that meat this week, it went away.
Yeah.
Just put her on a meat diet. I have plenty of meat in the freezer.
How long was she red and swollen?
Oh man, like a month. Wouldn't go away. Benadryl, everything. I didn't.
Okay.
And her skin was kind of red.
Yeah, so red flush indicates, it makes me automatically think of bacterial infection.
Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe the fact that you're giving her liver, something about it helped her digestive tract.
Oh yeah, she looked great. Like I took her out of the pen today, put her back on in her spot, and she looked really good.
I've had a dog in the past that she had food allergies. She never did swell up, but her skin was always red and itchy. And so I switched her to a grain-free. I think it used rice instead of, whatever.
Yep. That's what old Tim said. Man, when chicken and rice was cheap, God, I would just make chicken and rice, and I'd mix it with a little bit of dog food for filler, cheap dog food. And man, my dogs were great. Never lost weight. Anyways, this guy says, I can't shock them. Hounds I deal with recently seem too sensitive. I have a line of hounds that I don't need to shock them. I can just beep them or point my finger at them and say, don't you do that. I got out of that line. I didn't like it. It was too sensitive. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate it sensitive. They hunted. They're great. They trailed. They did everything. But man, that sensitivity, it was kind of nice because I didn't have to overstimulate them at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if I toned them, they knew what was up.
It's easier to ruin
like that.
It's easier to ruin a sensitive dog than it is a stubborn dog.
Yep.
What's that?
You don't shock his dogs.
That's a TT15 with a plug on it.
Yep.
That way I can tone them still, but that dog's real sensitive.
Yep.
If I shock him, he's gonna sit in my lap.
Yep.
The rest of the
I
day.
had a dog. I had a dog just like that. Chloe. Yep. But man,
But
she
that
could trail.
also,
And
if they get to where we've had some dogs that they could feel those prongs, and they just wouldn't hunt with the prongs in. But you can still take that orange plug out and still give a little stimulation, but they'll hunt with it without the prongs. So,
yeah, no, I get it. That's a good idea. Actually, I never even knew they made those.
yeah. If you go like to Garmin and order some more prongs, because I ordered some taller ones because I lost one out of a collar, and the pack came with a couple of those, and it keeps all the dirt and the debris out of the hole. So
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Speaking
All my
of
dogs
collars,
now are pretty good.
Dusty's gonna have I think he's having a Black Friday still. Dustin is.
Is he? Is he now?
Maybe. I
At
saw a
Cold
TikTok
Strike?
of it. Yep.
Talking to the guy that spray painted my horse. I did spray paint my horse. People shoot horses. They're dumb people out there when you're elk hunting and you're on a horse riding through elk country.
Yeah,
I
I had a
remember-
sorrel, and what I did is I hung blaze orange flagging off of him on his halter, and then off of the pack in 2 different spots on each side. So he had basically 6 foot-and-a-half long streamers of, neon orange.
Yeah. Oh, I just took some spray paint, painted my old horse, his tail and his back legs. Yeah, I showed it Monday night. They probably do. They probably do come with those.
Mine don't come with the plugs. Mine never did.
You don't have to order them.
I
They
had
come with
one
the
that came-
collars and the
I
box.
had 115 that came with one, and then when I ordered the extra set, I got one. Now my 25, I don't think it came with one.
How do you like that 25?
I like it. I
I
started
got
to
10
get
of
rid
them.
of all these 15s and get 25s.
Well,
I
you
got
give me
10
all
of
the
them.
15s.
This is a guy who only uses
like you, Jared. I have to.
He only
sell or
uses the
barter
Alpha
and
10.
trade. Huh?
He only uses the Alpha 10.
Yeah.
It just points you that way and he goes.
Yep.
He'll smarten
to
up.
buy one of those just for weight.
I like it because I get better reception on my dogs. Like I've hunted with buddies with the 200s and the 300s, and I seem to get a couple more tenths of a mile, maybe touch over a mile compared to what they get. And my battery life is for days on that thing.
You know, my battery lasts pretty good on my 300.
Because back when the 200s first came out, if you ran more than 10, 12 dogs on that 200, you better be heading home within 6 hours or heading back to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were running out and your handheld was dying.
I run 6, and I ain't never ran mine down.
Yeah.
Which I don't use mine
I run
as much
10.
as go.
Yeah. But
so on the
update rate on your
like the
collars
220, I could pause tracking. What is it?
Well, what's Jeremy's update rate on his collars? Every 2.5 seconds?
2.5.
Yeah.
See, I set mine to 30 seconds, and what I do is I just carry an extra battery with me, but I'll get 12 hours out of the handheld.
See, I've got to have the fast updates.
Mine's on 2.5 because I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's on 2.5 because I live next to the reservation, or I hunt next to the reservation.
Right.
I didn't change it even when I came out to Arizona. Of course, I had 2 handhelds.
Are you guys big game hunters?
No.
Jeremy's the old frickin' coon slayer.
Yeah, I just run lions. A little bobcat.
My
Jeremy,
dogs are opportunistic. They run just about anything.
have you ever ran
like it.
raccoon in the Midwest?
No.
I would look into it. I
They
got
say it's
buddies.
awesome.
I got a buddy that he got out of it. Now he's married with wife and kids. But
Loser.
I was living in Montana hunting coons, and he was living in South Dakota. I think in 4 days he caught 34.
I treed 6 in one
Oklahoma.
tree the other night.
Huh?
We treed 6 in one tree the other
Yeah.
night.
He
Damn.
So one time they caught 47 in an abandoned house.
Oh, shit.
His dog, he couldn't figure out what was going on. His dog was running around in this house just freaking out. So his buddy goes back to the farm, grabs a ladder, and goes up into the it's an abandoned house, and goes up into the broken window, and the whole attic is solid black with raccoons in the top.
Looked like a Christmas tree. Oh, you turn that light on?
Yeah.
Looked like a Christmas tree.
Would you see that video of that bear in that grain cart that I put up?
I haven't seen it.
Well, that grain cart, when it has corn in it,
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it.
Ungodly. Which they've got a dog now that keeps stuff gone, but so it's not as prevalent as it used to be. But there's like 15 trees around that thing, and they're all big around your leg.
Yeah.
And it was so bad, it looked like Christmas lights one night. I don't know how many it was, but you can just drive by and it's just like a smorgasbord. It's a puppy training ground is what it is. And then in the summer, when they plant sweet corn and it starts getting the milky stage, that's when the corn's the best for hunting out. And
Yeah.
we were treeing 9 in every tree, like going down a turn row. So
dang,
that's wild.
We're doing deep predation on this property, and we kept track of how many we actually got rid of, and it was over 400 in one summer.
Oh my God!
Now they're normal numbers.
That's crazy.
I think you sent that to me on my phone, not my messenger. I'm trying to find it.
I might have to become a coon hunter.
Man, Oklahoma. I
start breaking.
My friends send me stuff from Oklahoma.
Yep.
Like on fast game, deer, whatever. I bring them about 3 months old, start getting them used to riding and seeing what all of it's about. And then about 6 months, when they first start trying to tree or they've seen, quite a few, they ought to know what we're after. Now, first 2 or 3 times they're running something, I don't care. They're running something. They're not at my feet. I'm not having to trip over them. Let them go. But no, after about, when they get close to a year old, business starts.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, now the occasional bear, I don't break them off bears unless, I have to tone them off for one that's, trying to get bad or whatever. But for the most part, I can holler at them and they come on. Deer and possums, that's the worst 2 here.
Okay.
But
see, I thought deer would be easy to break off of compared to the bears.
It's all individual dogs. The male pup I brought, he is probably the hardest one I've had to break off deer because you can get him off of them and then all of a sudden, pew, hey, there's a deer. Now I had him the other night. He actually hit a track and took off before I realized what it was, and he come beelining back. So I'm like, well, hey, he still remembers. So now I got into some hogs the other night, and I turned my 2 little mutts I loose, and my cur and my mutt, because they're my opportunistic ones. And he wanted to go too. And he could see everything that was going on and hear it, and he really wanted to go. And I'm like, no, that's the hardest thing to break is hogs because they stink. They're
Yep.
more apt to stop, especially if you got a single dog on them. And, you know, if they got cutters like that one, they end up costing you money. So,
Yep.
you know, stick with hogs with cur dogs and the freebies and stuff like that don't cost as much to replace.
There you go.
Well, fellas, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna finish driving home. I got another hour to go.
Oh,
All right.
all righty. Trying
You
to get
guys
this
have a great
video to
day.
load.
Yeah, I'll take
Thanks
care.
for coming on.
Yep,
Later,
thanks
boss.
for having me.
We will see you next time. Jeremy, I'm trying to
Now,
load this picture.
for now, I just forgot. Oh, dang it. It went away. Scatterbrained.
You had it.
I did.
Looking.
I'm interested in this coon hunting stuff because I had fun doing it in Montana. I don't have any.
I didn't
down
mind it.
There's not any
Oh,
down there where you're at?
I've seen 2 in the past 3.5 years.
See, I was
Yeah, there
worried
ain't a
about
bunch
those
down there.
monkeys down there in Arizona. I was worried about them because I know how my dogs are. Now they'd have a time killing 2 of them, but the rest of them they might actually get a hold of. But
You know, and it's usually with them monkeys, I'm catching singles or doubles, and it's not bad if they climb a tree. If they climb a tree, I can yell at the dogs, tone them off, shock them, and we'll leave. But when we catch them boars on the ground is when I have issues.
There we go. Hang on.
Because them boars, they'll fight a dog, and then they grab onto a dog, and another dog grabs them by a butt, and that's when you start getting flesh getting ripped up and all that other stuff. But a raccoon could do the same thing.
yeah,
You get a big old
Well,
boar raccoon, he could do the same thing.
these
If you're,
two,
when you're hunting with 10, 12 dogs,
yeah, these
Here you go.
two.
Here's Jeremy's
Now I
bear.
woke this bear up, and
Oh
I
shoot!
filmed him.
Okay, yeah, I've seen this video.
And then I went back over and filmed him again, and he's woke up. And he's mad at this point in time. He wouldn't let me get as close. I was like right over top of him, had my GoPro touching him at one point in time.
Oh shoot!
But,
What is that? That's a grain bin? He just sleeping in some grain?
It's a grain cart, gravity flow grain cart that's full of corn. And he'll sit in there and he'll gorge himself.
He ain't going hungry.
Yep.
Now he's probably, I would say he's close to 300 pounds. But by this winter, by the time he eats all that corn, because he will just sit there and sleeps on it. He don't have to leave. He gets down, goes 30 yards, drinks water, and gets back in the grain cart. And he climbs the ladder.
Drinks water, takes a shit, goes back up there.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's walking up, it's a driveway going up to it. There's a lake on the other side of the road. And it literally, you can't step for not stepping on chewed up corn that come out the end of
How do you break Kennedy Crew Outdoors? How do you break off possums?
Good question. I don't know the answer.
You don't.
About like a monkey. About like a monkey.
Oh.
I mean, I scold them, I know folks that have tied them to their collars and let them rot off. I don't know that you can. They'll either break themselves off of them or they won't.
I felt really good about myself one time. I got a buddy that lives in New Mexico, and he grew up in southern Arizona. He used to hunt with Warner Glenn when he was in high school, lion hunting. And he's all, I remember one time me and Warner were lion hunting. His dogs caught like 10, 12 coatimundi. And they had a heyday trying to get the dogs out of there. And I was like, you know what? If Warner's dogs still catch coatimundi after 60 years, I'm all right with my dogs doing it too.
Do you think it's the tail? Like I have dogs that will trail and look up in trees. They look up in trees, bear hunt, right?
Yeah.
They'll see a big mistletoe chunk up there, a big dark spot.
Yeah.
And that bear, they trail right by that tree and they look up and see that. And I think they think it's that bear.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. I've had dogs tree on knots down here. Big old, them oak trees get big old black knots like what you're talking about. That big.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my old Mo dog. He's retired now, but he's done that a couple times on me. He's just treed up on a big knot. But those monkeys, what sucks with them monkeys is they'll bay up and fight the dogs, and then they'll go up a tree. And and then once they're up the tree, they jump from branch to branch and walk around the tree on
Like a
top of the
damn
tree.
squirrel.
Yeah, trying to figure out on what limb to jump off of so they can get away again. And so it's entertaining for the dogs, which they're stupid and annoying. I wish we didn't catch them, but they do help a young dog look up because there's a lot of action going on top of that tree, and they got a tail, 2 foot long.
Yeah.
Well, see, a possum, they're slow, and these dogs can generally catch them. And I think they actually catch more than we actually see because, they catch them on the ground. That my little mutt, the one that kind of got me back into all these dogs, that's how we started him. I mean, I started him tracking deer, wounded deer, but and hogs. And we just would ride around on the ranger on this 4,000 acre ranch hunting feeders. And, he'd just ride by and there'd be a possum running down the road. He'd just go over and catch it, kill it, go on.
Huh.
And then he said that wasn't fun enough and broke himself off of them. Now, he'll kill them in the yard.
Yeah.
But when I'm out hunting, he won't mess with them unless we hadn't run across anything to run. But
Yep.
He started catching coons on these feeders. And he would sit there and, just get eat up because they're big as he is.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know what he was doing. And he's got more guts than he's got sense. And he finally got to where he'd sit there and bay them and look up at us and like, you going to help? And, of course, I've got a cruel buddy. And he shot in the ground one night. And the dog thought he shot the coon and he jumped off in there. He had to learn how.
Yep.
But after that, he was ruined. Every coon he comes across, he's out there treeing at one right now. Or barking at something anyway. But,
There you go.
He broke himself off possums. Now, I've got a gyp that, she'll tree them every now and then, but it's a rarity. So, I scold them and send them on their way. How else can you, like you say, your tone of voice, after a certain amount of time, they know when you're disgusted with them.
Yep.
Those Kudaman are those, can you kill possum over there?
Yeah.
Like as many as you want?
Mm-hmm.
Those Cuda Mondays, I think we're only allowed, there's a season for them. I don't know how many are allowed though. One?
I think it's 1 or 2 a year.
2 a year,
Yeah.
I think. Because I checked into it to see what all, if I could, if I had to, which.
Oh, I'd love to kill one and mount
Legally.
it. I'd love a full mount. It'd be cool to
You
have
come down
they're
here,
pretty
Jeremy.
little creatures.
You can have, I'll get you your 2.
Come on down.
Yep.
I ain't driving all the way to Arizona for a Coda Monday. And I did for a rattlesnake. Drove all the way out there. I got a rattlesnake, which is what I went for.
Well, we got lions and bears here too. I got some units open for bears still.
I know, and Casey keeps sending me videos, and I'm like, look, dang it.
You already took up all my vacation time the first time.
No, I still got a week left.
Oh, goodness.
There you go.
Yep.
There's still
come over
catching
here.
bears down here.
Yeah, we'll do half a week here. We'll go down and hunt a half week with Jared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I keep up with Jared. I'm gonna shoot him in the kneecap.
Oh no, I don't. I take my mule. I don't keep up with Jared.
I don't have a mule.
I'm the guy that picks Jared up. Jared walks faster when he knows I'm there because he knows he'll just call me and say, "Pick me up here."
Well, that's like going up the hill. I can keep up with Casey. Of course, going down's always my worst part. But anyway, we went on down, and I stayed pretty close to him until I got that yucca stuck through my foot. On the way back, I told him, I said, look, I can find my way back to the buggy. Don't wait on me. I will be there when I get there. Just don't leave me. Because I ain't walking back to camp.
Yep.
Jared, I don't know why you don't hire a kid, pay him a couple $100 for the weekend to help you.
Mainly, I don't trust anyone. That's the main reason.
If he just had a radio, you throw him up on mountain wherever you are, and put it. I guess GPS. If you had another GPS to hook you up, that's what I like about my 200 and my 300.
You can do that with
Me
the
and Cody-
10s.
Yeah. Yep. That's how you do it, and just
Yep.
tell them to
When I
pick
had
you
my
up,
neck
man. You
surgery,
could.
That's why I have
hired
my
out.
wife.
Oh,
Every now and then she'll come around and pick me up. She'll be mad. Like when I lived in Nevada, you know, in Nevada, those lions would travel. I don't want it. The hike was the same for toughness, but it seemed like one time we got on a traveling lion and we went 17 miles on foot. Like we were in the mountain range and we started running out of the mountain and the dogs are still cold trailing and we're heading down to the valley floor and I'm like, we're gonna jump this bugger and catch him right here. And then the dogs hit the valley floor and they kept trailing and I'm like, shoot, he's going to a different mountain range. And I had to call my wife. She had to leave work and come get me. I was like, I'm not
Yeah,
sleeping out here tonight. Come get me off. I
man.
think
When you
I
have
was on like the Antelope Spring Road or something. Come get me.
someone to pick you up, it's amazing
You're-
how you don't feel pain.
Yeah.
You just go.
Yep.
You just go. When you know you turn around and go back, even on a mule, if I had someone to drag my trailer or tell me, or like, hey, go to this spot and just take a nap till I get there. You know, meet
Yep.
me there. I'll be there in a couple hours or end of the day.
I
Oh,
would
yeah.
ruin you
The
two
worst
guys.
part.
I'd
The worst
drive
part
to
is
the
going
tree.
back. I hate going back.
Me too. Like, you know, I
Oh,
don't know.
hey, look, Donald Trump's watching us tonight. Is he saying what's good, chat? I don't know. Ask Kamala,
Old
Mr.
Uncle
President
Donnie.
Donald John Trump. There
But
you go,
yeah, like
everybody.
I had an old timer that, you know, Kelly it took me underneath his wing and and I was always impatient too. As soon as we cut dogs loose, I was right behind him. You know, I'd let him get out of sight and then I'd get up, I'd start following him on foot.
Well, that's how you learn your dogs. That's how you know what they're doing.
Exactly.
The
But
only way.
when you're running lions, you know, and that lion goes 3.5 miles the way the crow flies one way. It's nice to have the old timer drive around and pick you up on the other side compared to sleeping out there, starting a fire and sleeping next to a fire all night and waking up every half hour to stoke it again, and then walking back the next morning. That I've done that a couple times, and that's miserable.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
So bad.
That's like
wife's
when I
done
had
it
my
with
neck
me.
surgery. I couldn't
I'm
pick up
surprised it took her
anything.
this long.
So I hired out my buddy's son and bought him some boots and light. And I said,
Mhm.
all right, now I can't hardly go without him now. So I run a kid.
There you
But
go.
anyway, he hit me up Saturday night. I couldn't hardly walk. I got a heel spur bothering me. And he said, we going hunting Saturday night? I said, probably not. You have to walk to all the trees. But my buddy's aunt was in, so I don't go up there when she's there.
Yeah.
You know, don't even put yourself in that situation. You know,
Yep.
No.
she came walking down the road one night trying to figure out who we were. I said, well, it's a good thing that I know who you are and I'm not a bad guy because you're a little old lady out here in the middle of the night armed with a cell phone, 20 miles from anywhere. You know,
It's a
if I
bad
wanted to
place to
get you,
be.
County.
I would have got you.
Yep.
Yep.
And she got mad at me for chastising her. I'm like, I mean, I understand where you coming from about wanting to check out who's up here, but it's not a good idea.
Nope.
Yeah. Not without a
Well,
double barrel.
just like when me and my wife were living out at the property, you know, we'd have illegals come through. The dogs would blow up, and we'd have illegals come through. You know, and it's just like I ain't going out there. They're not bothering me right now, and all they're doing is walking through. Border Patrol will pick them
Yeah.
up here in 10 minutes. I don't need to go out
Yep.
there and be a hero.
Nope. No. And you'll be like that rancher who shot that guy, and they're trying to take all his stuff away from him and put him in
Well,
jail. And all
shoot,
that stuff.
they almost put him in life in prison. He was 76
Yeah.
years old. Thank goodness they had a hung jury. They had a hung jury, and then the judge said we're not going to re-prosecute or retrial or mistrial or whatever again. That's the only thing that saved them was that judge not making them go through it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's another shitty part about down here living in a blue county is they have more rights than we do.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
You do.
And
you know, I got a buddy that he's ex-military. He was SF or Special Forces or whatever you call them. And we were deer hunting, and we glassed up some deer, or not some deer, some illegals, a band of them, and 3 of them were carrying guns. And he's all...
Well, they're not coming over here for work if they're carrying guns.
Exactly. He's all, if they were closer, I'd ring one out. He's like, Mexico thinks they're in Mexico. U.S. thinks they're in Mexico, and they're in the desert right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But you're a good country down there.
God, if it wasn't for them illegals coming across with all the trash we have in the mountains, it'd be gorgeous down here. But you know, I can't access my phone right now, but I found a campsite this year, and it was probably a 30-foot circle, and they had water and 25 Red Cross blankets strung out and 30 trash bags. That's right. Well, them water jugs, I tip them upside down, and I stand them upside down in the wash, and I make it I cut the bottom out of the milk jug, and I make it a dog bowl.
And he steals their Pedialyte.
And I steal their Pedialytes.
You know, it's that's people dropping that stuff for them too.
Oh yeah,
in certain spots. Yuma's real bad about it.
Well, down here by, on the border, they have this group called the Humanitarian Aid.
Yeah, they have it in Yuma too, I think.
You know, that's the do-gooders dropping. Like they got out here by my property, they got 50-gallon blue barrels, and they got a 40-foot high flag pole with a blue flag on it to mark the water for them.
I think he's talking about Cudamonde again. I don't know.
Yeah, he might be talking about monkeys.
Yeah.
You know what? The great thing about where I live is it's all drug running. So if you're running around in your side-by-side of your truck, you come across, I don't know, 10, sometimes 20 gallons of fuel, and you just fuel up and keep on going. You get, you know, and those gas tanks, they're not $10 no more. Them suckers are expensive.
Yeah, they're about almost 40 in some places.
Oh, yeah. Yep. But
anyway. That's the cartel drugs.
I told him about that story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
we got 444 pounds.
Yeah, my wife trying to become a freaking Breaking Bad all of a sudden.
It's not okay for these dogs.
Yep, there you go.
Dogs ain't cheap.
What time is it there, Jeremy? You're not that far ahead of us no more, are you?
I don't know. I can't see. Oh no, I'll tell you.
Are they only an hour ahead of us now, or 2?
Is he? I don't know if he's Eastern or Central. If he's Central time, he's only an hour.
8:20.
Yep.
Oh dang. Kind of nice. Now I know Brett kicking his on at 6 o'clock now, which they're the same time as me. So now it puts me in an hour later.
Mm-hmm.
Puts him same time, but me an hour later. So I got on at 5 o'clock Monday, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I look at the YouTube thing, and it said an hour till they go on. But you know, talk about trash breaking. The best place to live is by the golf course. So I would take my dogs over there just for elk and deer all night long. I run them dogs, and there's a ton of coon on there. We'd catch coon, and I'd run them on the greens, and them elk were all over those greens back in the day. So I'd let them dogs go, and I'd let them run, and you know, I had the old Tritronics. As soon as they got up on them elk, bzz, you know, that's how I trash break my dogs, golf course for deer and elk. So, and I shoot the elk on my golf course.
Yeah. I didn't
So,
know this.
yeah.
I'm not much of a. I've never really lived or hunted in elk country. I've only shot one elk my whole life, and that was in Montana. But
Mm-hmm.
I was bear hunting with a buddy one time in elk country, and I went to go grab a dog for him, and I'm walking back with the dog, and all of a sudden I hear some barks, and I'm all, "Is there another?" And I get him on the radio. I'm like, "You got another dog out here?" And he's like, "No, why?" And I was like, "Something's barking at me from like 40 feet away, and I can't see it." And he's like, "It's probably a cow elk." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know they barked at you."
Huh. I hear them whistle.
Yeah. No, they got like, it's kind of like a faint bark from, it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never heard them. I just heard them like, that's how I call them in.
Mm-hmm.
My voice. Oh, any other tips to trash breaking or trashing? Or?
The big thing is you have to catch game. Like that's 90% of it.
Got to put them on some game before you really get into trash breaking them hard.
Yeah.
They got to know what they're supposed to be running before you can break them.
Yep.
Or before you even start.
Another thing guys get crazy about is treeing. They like to see the dog tree, which I get. I'm not saying a dog shouldn't tree right away.
Yeah.
I'll give them one that'll tree all day long, all night long.
Yep. My big thing is
there.
now that's different for me. Like this is where Jeremy's probably gonna be different than what we would be or I would be. For me, you have to trail it before you tree it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had this little black and tan. Yep. I had this little black and tan female. If it climbed a tree, she wouldn't tree it. She'd only bark at them if they were ledged up. But she was my best trail dog.
I like a good trail.
Yep.
Now some nights it's just a layup. That's what we call a layup when they don't. It's just from the box to the tree. There's no trail to it.
Yeah.
And most times those are real hot track.
Gotcha.
Same with bear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of the bears.
I've had a rig let go and caught in 20 minutes, 200 yards away.
Yep.
Most of our bears.
Right up.
Straight up. Unless they get caught in the field.
I got dogs that do it. My lead dog sits back, looks at the cat and bays, usually 10 yards.
That's a good dog right
there. I got dogs that
That's...
sit back.
I would rather have a dog sit back on its butt and look up at the tree than have a belly scratcher. Because them dogs that start belly scratching against it.
I got a jumper I hate.
Yeah, they start getting up like that. Too. They start getting up in that tree real thick, and you got a jumping lion. You're just gonna chase that cat all day. Now they sit back 10, 12 feet, and that lion doesn't know where to jump anymore because everyone's around the tree and not underneath of it. You might have a chance of holding them.
Yeah. And in that jumping, I got Yucky jumps, drives me crazy. And he jumps 15 feet in the air, jumps. And that jumping will start a fight.
Yeah,
they may not mean to, but they land on each other and it's like a human being or a kid or anything. Someone walks by and lands on your head, you're going to be pissed. But I'm trying to get him out of it, and he's doing better. I got dogs that stand on the tree. I got dogs. If you look at my trees, I got 2 or 3 dogs on the tree. I got Yucky who jumps. It drives me crazy. And then I got the dogs that just sit back. Stinker sits back and stares at it with a death stare like Medusa. Just whines, and she'll bark and whine like she just like, come down, please come down, And both times we shot those bears, I didn't have her tied up because I didn't think she would. That bear didn't hit the ground before, and she would run in. I'm like, whoa, because them bears, she's a small dog. He'll turn around and snap her quick,
Yep. Like,
but
my walker dogs. My walker dogs, I can catch and hold a bobcat with. my black and tans, my
Yep.
blue ticks, my red tick.
Trying to climb
They
those
get up-
trees.
They get in the tree, they try climbing it, and they'll jump them bobcats out, and then I have a rodeo again.
You got jumps.
You know?
You got possible broken legs. You got sticks in their
Yeah.
guts or in their chest that you won't even see till later. How many times you heard someone say, "Man, they had a hole right here or a hole right here"? I didn't even know, or because they just
absolutely.
My jumper,
When
she's
they-
not really much of a contributor. I mean, she can tree her own coon by herself. You know,
Yeah.
take her out by herself. She can go do it all by herself. But if there's somebody else there, she's gonna let them do the work, and she's gonna go in there and steal the tree from them. And
That's
my
my-
other dogs, they'll just back off and bark every so often. You know, they won't be on the tree with her.
I think the perfect pack is when you got a couple good trailers that just keep that trail going, and you got some good treers. You know, there's a lot of those. I have a dog, Vodka. She'll trail like a sucker, get to the tree, do some treeing, and then she'll just kind of, once everybody gets there, she'll lay off.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert's back. She'll lay off a little bit, and then like, oh, you guys are here, and she'll just kind of go around and sniff around, come back, bark. You know what I mean? She don't. It's like she tries to find the next track.
Yeah.
You know? Robert, what happened?
I was traveling.
Oh.
Through no service area.
Yeah.
What's really nice, and I haven't had a dog like this yet, but is a locator.
Yeah.
You know, you got a lion 10, 12 feet below you on a ledge that you can't see, you know, but your dogs are running back and forth on that ledge barking, but they can't figure out where he went. And I've had to crawl down and look around and see it.
That's where a hot-nosed dog comes in handy.
You know, where like he just said, I don't really have a very good locators for dogs because usually they can see it right 2 inches in front of their face, or it's only 20 feet in a tree, 10 feet in a tree. Where you get like where Robert hunts up in them red rocks and the bluffs up there where they are, that lion can get away and, you know, be 15, 30 feet on the backside of that bluff and a dog not see it. For a dog to pinch and hold the lion there, and for you to get around and see it and stick and, you know, not run off and try to refine the track again, that's impressive.
Well, that's the same with ponderosas. You get a 100-foot tree, 60, 70-foot tree. I have been to a tree and could not find the lion for 10 minutes. And I'm like, damn. Oh, and there's tracks all around a tree and they're barking. I'm like, what are you guys barking at? You know, we had pups with us at this one tree, and big circle. They were just running around. They couldn't get the track no more and running back and forth. And finally, my buddy says, it's right there. There it is. And it was just laid flat on a good branch up there, up about 60 feet in the air. Man, when they're 60 feet in the air, you know, it's
Hard
like
to
trying
see.
to find a squirrel. They just lay flat on a good branch.
Yep.
So,
or you get a good wind pushing that scent like up the ridge or not.
Oh.
Been a few times that the dogs are up there just barking, don't have nothing, so start walking them out and you find a cat in a tree.
Yep.
So we kind of have that same problem here with that new growth timber. When the kitten coons are on the ground, early summer, dogs can smell them shoot a mile away. And they'll be dancing on the back, you know, standing up like a ballerina, spinning around in circles. You can wind them. Can't put them up a tree.
Do you have a lot of problem with snakes down there, Jeremy? Yeah.
Oh.
I just picked up a couple puppies out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And one of the puppies I picked up got bit by a copperhead a couple of days before.
Yeah,
those like no big deal.
Notorious dog biters. Them and cottonmouths.
Yeah.
And they'll swell them up, you know. Sometimes a cottonmouth will rot out, but copperhead's generally just gonna swell him up.
Yeah, she just got bit.
They do a lot of dry biting.
Yeah. I heard. Speaking of puppies and sales and raccoons, I think it was a big game hunter or whatever on Facebook. One of the Facebook pages, a coon hunter was selling a finished coon dog, and all he said was "coon dog for sale, X amount of dollars. If he's treeing on a mailbox, open the mailbox."
Yeah, that's how you sell them, I guess.
He said he was accurate as they come, whatever, but I thought that was funny. He's like, if you see him treeing on a mailbox, you better open that mailbox.
That's fun.
Yeah, but our accurate and your accurate's two different things. That's two different creatures.
Yep. But
now, I'm not going to say this. Once an eastern dog gets acclimated to the western climate and figures out what he needs to be doing, that dog can probably make it. It's not going to be as cold nosed as some of you guys' dogs.
Well, my best drag around lion dog came from Washington. I mean, he think he was an 8th running dog, and he caught bobcats in Oregon his first year and a half of life before I got him.
Yeah.
And shoot, by the time he died when he was 11, but he was for picking up loses, everything. I caught a lot of lions with just him because all the other dogs fell out, quit, what have you. It's 10 o'clock at night. So I think, and he was stubborn. I mean, he was stupid stubborn. He ran deer until he was 5.
Yeah, I got a male pup that's just like it. Stupid, stubborn.
Oh, but you couldn't.
But if he was on a lion, he went on a lion.
Yeah, you couldn't pull him off a track either. It sucked. If he was on a line, it didn't matter if you shocked him. He didn't care. He was going until the scent went away or it was caught.
I like that, but
was
it's an aggravation.
It sucks.
That was my blue tick.
Midnight.
Yeah.
I had a blue tick. It was Dirty's father, Luke. Got him out of New Mexico. Couldn't even tell you his lines. But if I shocked him and he didn't come off or stop, it was a bear. Period. Yep. And I had to get in there unless he physically see me there yelling at him. He wouldn't. Now, if he didn't see the bear and he was just trailing it, I could get him off it. But if he had a bear, and it don't matter what time, how far, he was gone.
I'd have to leash that dog back. I'd have to grab him with the leash and drag him all the way back to the truck, because it didn't matter if I got 400 or 500 yards
backwards
away from the track where it quit. Backwards.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
He was walking backwards.
Freaking yeah. But say we got 400 or 500 yards away from where I pulled him off that track, and I was like, all right, you're good. We're walking back to the truck. He'd walk back to the truck with me for another 100 yards, 200 yards, and and I think everything's good. And then 10 minutes go by, and I'm like, where'd that dog go? And now he's clear back to where we were when we lost the track, and I wanted to be done. I got to go back and get him.
Oh, man.
He was a stubborn.
That bigger staff dog I had, if you'd shock him on a track or anything when he's in the woods, he'd just lock up and lay under a tree. You'd have
really?
to go in to get him.
Have y'all noticed that more and more?
How they just lock up.
Yeah.
I got a female that she'll get lost and not come back. I got to go get her. I mean, I've left her out for hours, nights. It don't matter. She won't move.
Huh. Well, that's the way he is. If you shocked him, he'd stay for a day.
I don't remember that when I was coming up as a kid. The dogs being as temperamental as they are now.
Yeah.
You could beat them with a freaking fence post back in the day, and they just go on and do what they were supposed to be doing. But now you can just look at one and it'll sull up.
Yeah.
Our dogs have turned Democrat.
Right. It's
Antifa.
And that could be because of somewhat of breeding too. Like you get that smart young female. That you look at her wrong and she'll quit you, but she also doesn't run trash. So you breed her because she's honest as she could be. But at the other end of it, now you make a pup out of her, or you get some pups out of her, and now you got timid pups that you got to coast and be like, no, go run the deer, it's okay.
Yeah, I did that. I had that dog, Chloe, just sensitive, and I bred her because she was the trailing sucker and tree. great. And then I bred her twice. But because of my other dogs, I brought some of it out, but I still have Sydney. Sydney's like that. Cruella, she's actually pretty good, but she listens real good. But I just couldn't, I didn't breed her no more, and I didn't breed none of them dogs. So I just let that line. I've never bred Sydney because of that, you know.
Yep.
But I breed my own dogs, so I kind of can control that. You know what I mean? Because you get dogs from someone else, you don't know what's in it. They can say this or that, or this dog, you just don't know exactly. So I kind of have a little bit of control in it. But I like breeding my dogs, and I like watching the litter, and you know, and I don't really sell them. I give them away to people or trade out, you know, if I need, you know. But I think that's the great thing about having my own line. You know, it is my line now. I've had it since 2005. So, and I do have original Salazar in it, and I like that, you know. But
I hate raising litters. I've done it once, and that was work.
Really? Oh, I love it. I
like
got videos on it, and I just
start to finish.
I love it.
Getting them at 6 weeks.
I want to make a video.
I like getting them at 6, 8 weeks old and going from there. I don't like 0 to 6 weeks. Someone else can deal with it.
But I got kids. And they acclimate them to everything. You know, that whole neurological touch their feet. Oh, my kids choke them out, hold them by their tails, their feet, their ears, like those dogs. Maybe that's why my dogs are tougher. Like you can yank on their ears because I'm an ear yanker. It's like grabbing a kid. It's like grabbing a kid by the ear or pulling the back of his hair. That little pressure point. And my Cody Lynn hates it. Why you pull on their ears? Yeah. Why you pull on their ears? I said, that's what I do. And they respond better. And I don't have to do it much. You know what I mean? Like a kid, you whoop a kid good enough when he's young. You don't have to whoop him when he's later, and they don't go vote for Kamala and all those Democrats, you know.
Yeah, but that's like
I don't know. I love. Go ahead.
That male puppy I've got, I can shock that dude on 18, and it might phase him, it might not, but I can pinch his ear, and I get his attention.
Yucky, my red bone. He wouldn't leave squirrel alone. And if I threw a squirrel in the back, he would grab it and try to swallow it. So I threw a squirrel back there and I had it set high and he couldn't open his eyes. That's how bad I was stimulating him. And he would not let go of that squirrel. I held that thing, probably burn out my stuff. And finally, and even today, he just hates squirrels. I don't know why, but even on a rig, he'll see that squirrel run across the road, and I'm just like this, like, and you know, the harder you push the button, of course, the harder it shocks. You know that, right?
Yeah.
No matter how you push that button, the harder you push it, it's like, God, why doesn't it have if it was a pressure switch where you barely touched it and the more you went down, those dogs be in trouble. But, well, shoot, guys, what do you think?
Another thing on voting in Colorado that we won on, Denver had that fur ban in the slaughterhouse, and both of them got shut down.
Good.
And that was just in Denver. I'm amazed that those two got shut down.
I forgot about the fur ban. I really did. I forgot. You know, we so concentrated on the 127, but the slaughterhouse, there is no reason we don't have slaughterhouses. People, especially with the wild horses and all that, they have no clue. They have no clue what wild horses do to areas. They have no clue what a slaughterhouse is for. They just think of these poor little horses that get killed, or it's dumb. It's dumb.
Absolutely.
The Disney mentality.
Yeah,
it is.
New Disney. It's new Disney.
Yeah.
I got that old Disney book. I got that old Disney book.
Yeah.
He talks about why they need to be shot and killed, not eradicated, but why.
Well, look at the wetback hound.
That's right.
Yep.
They had Warner Glenn before he was Warner Glenn.
Yeah, he was a kid then, just a pup.
Yeah.
Damn it, Tim! I told you it got voted out 3 times now.
Colorado voted right. Yeah,
That's right. I was so nervous yesterday because I've been talking all that smack on that mountain lion page. I'm like, dude.
You see how quiet that page is today, though.
That page got quiet. Everybody
real
shut up.
quiet.
I go. It's back to normal. It's back to mountain lion sightings and just little stuff. Crazy.
But
I've been poking them,
like,
trying
man.
to get something out of them.
I was like, man, if this thing goes through and the 127 passes, I'm gonna be super mad that it passed. But then I'm not gonna live it down on that stupid page.
Oh no, they would have been all over it. And I haven't. There's still some people talking smack, but you know what? Those other guys, the left side would have came on and said, "Ah ha ha," but I don't see a lot of people on our side saying, "Ha ha."
I called out. Oh, I did. I called out 2 people that called it out first.
I know which ones too.
Yeah, because they both said it's gonna pass, and they both said 88% of the public's against it.
Yep.
I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna talk about that 88% real quick.
That's the first thing I did was got on there and said, "Yep, Colorado spoke this time." You know.
Yep. I only did it to those 2 people though. Everyone else, I got an argument that tried to have an actual argument with me about it. I didn't do nothing. But those 2 guys, one called hound hunters perverts of the hunting industry. That guy, I called him out.
Whatever you want to call me.
Yep.
I'll take it.
I'll say he didn't respond back to this one because he was supposedly a bow hunter, and his only picture of him bow hunting was him kneeling next to an elk wallow. Come to find out, he's one of the head honchos at Cats Aren't Trophies.
Oh, and these guys.
Oh yeah, and he called me a hound pervert or whatever, and what was it?
Molester.
Yeah, cat molester, because I just run cats and harass them, and I harass the elk and the deer, and I run them off the winter range and all this.
Oh, jeez.
And I told him, I just like, you harass, I was like, you're an archery elk hunter. You harass elk during the rut. And then I put rut means, because he has no clue what it means. He's an idiot, because he just doesn't hunt.
Yeah, he's not a hunter.
I was like, I put hunt, I was like, what the rut means is when a daddy elk likes a mommy elk and they make a baby elk. That's the rut, and that's what you're chasing.
That's funny.
Jared spends 80% of his day on that one page.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah. My wife,
we have to charge his phone.
My wife's happy that 127's over because I was on it all day long, arguing with people.
So she probably knows more than we do about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing it passed. Really good thing it passed. But probably it's a good thing to end the show on too, because I think people need to realize it's not just over. You know.
No.
Like
we need to raise money again. We
just need to keep raising money. And honestly, I think it should be on an app, you know, just like Netflix. You should give $20 a month.
Yeah.
To whoever's your local organization, you know.
And you go out, like, if I go to another state and hunt, I should have to join the association in that state too.
Absolutely.
I think all the associations should be part of the national association whenever it gets going, or whatever it's going to get going, or whoever's running it. You know what I mean? So that national association has 10,000 members. So if you're a part of the Arizona Working Dog Alliance and we have 100 members, $5 of ours goes to that one, and they have 100 members and 100 members and 100 members. So when they show up to Arizona or Colorado or Utah, wherever they're going, and they say, "Hey, we're here. We have 10,000 members. You know, we're associated and aligned with 500 groups. I'm talking from West Coast to East Coast. It's how it should be. That's how the National Houndsman should be.
Hunting is going towards the direction, no matter which way you think about it. We're going to have to pay to play.
Oh, yeah.
So whether it be with a hunting club a private hunting club with what Jeremy's got out east, or us, we're gonna have, like what Robert just said. You want to hunt Colorado, you want to hunt New Mexico, Arizona. You pay your license and your tag fees, but then throw the association another $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No.
I mean,
Yep. And he says we won 45%, but to me, I don't like that. That's too close of a spread. Like,
no, I mean, when you look at
60-40 would make me feel better. 70-30 would make me happy.
51% is all it takes.
Yep.
Yeah, win's a win. It was 300,000 people is what separated it. So over 300,000.
Which is good. Which is totally good. But absolutely
No, that's great.
Now that we have breathing room for a year, we need to start pushing back. And here next year, what is it? Arizona's thing's going to come up where we all have a public thing that we can bring up.
Is it the 5-year?
Yeah.
Are we on our 5-year?
2025.
I think you're right.
So,
which means we got to be busy this year.
Yeah, we got to be busy this year. And I want to bring back a damn pursuit season for the summer because I want to be living in Alpine in the summer running summer lions.
Get out of my area, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't want to
go back to your own state.
I don't want to be down here in 110.
Yep.
I'm going to go to Nevada this summer anyway and hunt lions. But, I want a summer pursuit season.
I'm trying to buy 100 acres somewhere up here so you could just take a little section of it and throw you one of them Amish sheds on it.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah,
I got a little spot for you too. Well, I'm just gonna put out 100 barrels for dogs.
All I need is water and electricity, and
I don't need either of them.
I just need water because I'm having to travel so far.
I just need a place
water.
for my barrel. We're good.
Yep. But we got to do something. If we do something like a summer pursuit season, or mainly just a summer pursuit season for Arizona.
Yeah.
And then if we get the ball rolling on that, then the antis are backpedaling and they're not coming for the whole hunt anymore. Now they're just coming for the summer pursuit again.
Yeah.
Which would be great. Like,
well, I tried to call.
Put Colorado for a pursuit, year-round pursuit. Every hound organization or every state that allows hound hunting should have a year-round pursuit season.
I think the next thing for Colorado, we need to be looking at getting our bear hunting back.
Yep.
That's going to be a hard
proactive.
Fight,
yeah. But if you get them backpedaling and going and trying to take the stuff that's already gone and them trying to keep it gone, at least they're not coming after the stuff that we already have.
Yeah.
If California when they get theirs back for bear, you'll be all right. They're going to get it back.
Hey, there's always hope we got ours back.
Yep. I'm telling you right now, you guys don't have 80,000 damn bears. That's a god awful.
We got more than Nevada.
Yeah, you do have more than Nevada.
But California there's no way they're not going to bring it back. They'll bring it back.
Well, there's people talking. Well, you listen to it on the commercials in El Dorado County, California. People are begging for the lion hunt to come back now. They're going to the county commissioners.
They will bring it back.
I hope they do.
They have to. And when that happens, I'm going to retire.
I'm telling you, if I would go hunt bears and lions in California.
I got a house there. I'm just going to go stay anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, you said but you meant we.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome. Yeah.
Time to put out the barrels.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go eat me some dinner.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
So, Robert, got any last words for the Coloradians?
Well, I just want to give you guys a big, thanks for all your support and everything you guys did for Colorado. And we just got to keep up the fight.
Yeah,
it has to
keep going.
We won
this one, but got to keep going.
Yep.
It's going to get tougher and tougher. They're going to figure out these little ways to do it. So,
yep.
And every state needs to. I mean, Dan Gates put out a roadmap. Everyone needs to get a hold of him and see what they can do in their own states.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Well, we're doing what we can. We're starting another organization, and we got a hold of a guy. I texted him today, actually, and left him a message.
Good.
So I think we're good on that.
hell yeah.
Jeremy, I'm glad I'm not keeping you up to 11 now.
Yeah.
It's only 8 o'clock there, or 9 o'clock there now, ain't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Thanks for coming on, Jared. Thanks for coming on.
How cold did you guys
So-
get in Arizona?
I got 2 sweatshirts on.
95.
So what is it?
I did wear a
79?
long sleeve
So
today,
I think
but
it got. I think right now it's 62, but I think it was 72 for a. Oh, the high was 62. 62 for a high today.
That sounds
I wore 2 sweatshirts the whole day.
it's 26. It's 26 degrees right now.
Woo!
But
that was our high today was 21 up here.
our high today was 38.
Right now I'm
But
sitting at 10 degrees.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I'm okay.
t-shirt weather. I was cleaning my shop, so I got a long sleeve on today, but I like the cold.
Yeah.
How hot is it there, Jeremy?
We're still running around in shorts.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you guys.
We'll be back at it next week.
Yep.
All right. Later.
Later.
All right.
See ya.
All right, guys. What do I got to say? Not too much. Thanks for coming. azwda.com. Anybody who wants to help with the fight with Arizona, that's probably going to come. Got to stay proactive. Other than that, if you want to, either going to put this on the Chris Watson Project on Apple's or Spotify podcast, or it's going to hit W. So check those guys out. Other than that, thanks for coming. Always remember, stay safe out there and keep your powder dry.